welcome to the Tournameta podcast. I have no idea what episode this is because I have forgotten to label my Word document. But welcome to a very special episode, as all episodes are. Today, our special guest is someone who you've probably heard of if you've ever been on Twitter and seen a Ultimate Insight being posted by him. It's Mittens, but that's how I see a lot of players or fans of the scene knowing you today, right? As well as maybe the Bowser player that ruins their bracket run. But for people who've been around long enough, they've actually known you for a lot longer than that. So how would you sort of describe your place in the Smash scene as your introduction?
Hello. My place in the Smash scene, it's it's long. I've been in the Smash scene for like almost 7 years now. It's crazy. But these days, I think I'm just known as the guy that makes content. And this year, I guess that's been doing pretty good in brackets.
You weren't consistently in the Smash scene though, right? You weren't always been taking breaks and then coming back but you've always sort of lingered.
Yeah. I've taken a few breaks here and there because I've been a very busy boy, had a few things going on in life, and kind of had to prioritize those for a little bit. But I've kind of dipped in and out at Smash. But always been involved. At no point have I said I'm done with Smash. I'm quitting or anything like that.
Yeah, people definitely would recognize you for your voice on commentary. Your especially like the thing that I think a lot of players would know you for is the intros at the meta shift, first meta shift, where you're introducing the top players, the top 8.
Yeah, I
And
did the top 8 hosting at Sunnyside up in Metashift. That was really fun.
I think that was the first time we had somebody who was like doing the presentation role, you know?
Yeah,
And
in Queensland.
like something that people don't really think about, but it added a lot.
Yeah, because I think one of the Western Australia tournaments did it a little bit before us. I think it was Big
Right.
Win Beer or someone was doing it, and I thought it was fantastic. I agree. I think it just added so much to the dynamic of it all.
Now, I haven't seen Big Win Beer. I only saw the sad cam,
Yes,
I believe. Yeah, which was
The
also
sad
the
cam.
dance cam. Yeah, that was pretty pug. Anyway, yeah, so for people who don't know, you've been around for a really long time and you've been consistently good. Every time you've taken small breaks, you've always come back and then like reclaimed just like the place that you once had or above that in the competitive scene. So I've always thought that that's been something that maybe people don't know about you as much, and something that was interesting I thought I wanted to go into is like, how do you like get back into things and then just go, yep, nah, back into it. I'm fucking already as good as I was or better. How do you do that every time?
Well, I think a big thing is that I never, like as I said before, I never really stopped entirely with Smash. Like although I wasn't making events, I would always be watching I'd always be watching the stream or the videos on demand, and I'd still be playing at home or just going over like Ben Gold's house and play for like a couple hours. So although like I wasn't always in a tournament setting, I was still always very much in Smash and still consuming it and still always thinking about it. Like just so often I'd just be just doing something really mundane. The mind just wanders, and then I just think, oh, what if I did like a falling nair hit 2 on my opponent from this angle? Which way would it send them? What kind of follow-ups could I have? Just like really dumb meta game fighting game stuff that would just like cross my mind all the time.
I've actually heard this a lot from a lot of different players where they just like in their spare time will think about scenarios and like how they would play out and stuff like that. But I also saw this TED Talk thing recently. It was like a TED educational video where they talked about like the power of where muscle memory comes from and where like skill comes from. And they did this study where basketball players practiced shooting 3-pointers for a week while another group of basketball players just imagined shooting 3-pointers, and they went through all the motions vividly in their mind. And they both improved on the scores about the same amount. one not even practicing at all. So
That's great.
I'm like a total believer that like if you're thinking about this shit in your spare time, that's actually like good practice, or almost as good as actual practice in a lot of ways.
Yeah, like I honestly think so. Like and again, it's not something that I actively sit down and think about. I don't at some point say like, okay, I'm going to sit down and think about Smash for the next half hour. It's just like just little random things because I'll just consume so much. Like again, like I watch a lot of Smash. Like I watch so many VODs of like Victoria and like Western Australia and Queensland. So when people say like, "Oh man, Mittens is really good at getting reads," I'm like, I know you're going to do it because I've seen you do it in the last like 5 VODs that I watched. I'm cheating.
Yeah, I've got the answer sheet, bro. I'd already read it. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's I wanted to bring up the fact as well that like while you've been able to be a good player, you've also like I mentioned done a lot of creative work. What sort of motivates you to do your creative work in the scene, and like how do you keep it up? How do you like motivate yourself to do it so much?
Oh man, with me, I think it's really weird. I think I've always been a creative person. Like I think I've always naturally been geared towards creativity, but
Mm.
I think I've always had a lot of anxiety that held me back. Like people that have like met me in the last like 2 or 3 years are like anxiety what because I've conquered it, I've overcome it. But man, when I started Smash like 6 7 years ago, I was a mess. I was such a mess, dude. I was in such like a bad place anxiety wise, and I'd always have that hold me back with so many different areas of life. And I think one of them was the creativity aspect because I'd be like, oh, I really want to do this, but I was just so afraid that someone would criticize it and I would just like fall apart because of it.
Yeah, I never would have picked that, honestly. Um, all my memories of you have been of someone who's like an upbeat, charismatic character. So it's a total surprise. But I definitely relate on like the fear and worry that comes with producing anything and like worrying about what other people are going to say about it. Man,
Yeah. Oh
it's
man.
rough, eh?
It is, and it's like you kind of have to reach a point where you just let go and you just say, look, no matter what you do, there's always going to be someone out there that's critical of anything that you do in life. So you just got to focus on the positives and be like, I want to create something not because I want people to tell me that I'm doing a good job, but because I want to like, feed into, in this case, Smash. I want to make the community aspect better. I want to make it a fun social thing. And I want people to be excited and just, find other forms of content that they can like get into and get behind. And like, I just made it not about me and I just focused on like other people just having a better time in life.
What have been some of like your upbeat, happier moments, like some of the joys that have brought you from like acting creatively within a scene you're passionate about, and how do they compare to like the big wins and successes that you've had as a Smash like professional player and like your career highs?
Man, it's so funny because it's like totally different parts of the brain that get tickled
Mm.
with that. Like, when you win competitively, it's like, oh yeah, cool. Like I'm overcoming like bracket demons and all that sort of stuff. But with the creative, it's like, yeah, again, it's like not, I don't do it because I'm like, yeah, I want everyone to be like, yeah, Mittens is such a good creative person or whatever. Like I do it because I want the scene to get better.
Yeah.
So yeah, just whenever I have people say to me like, oh man, I really appreciate like, ultimate insight, or it's really given me a new like a perspective on things. I always think like, man, that's so cool. I'm so happy that it's hitting its goal and it is getting people learning about other players and thinking in different ways and just, expanding their world a bit. But like
You
honestly, I find it more rewarding. I find the creative stuff more rewarding in a way. I don't know, maybe because I've been doing the competitive for so long, like there's really not much that I can really hit and be like, yes, I've never done that before. But with the creative, it's such a whole new world.
That's definitely relatable. I feel like creative stuff, you your reward is the positive feedback you get, which is nice, but you also get to see like the scene change to be better, and people like their passions are relit, they're renewed, and you feel it where you go, and that's much better feeling than just like winning as a pure like personal victory. But like you said, they're really different. They're very, very like different parts of the brain. I've always felt like it's an interesting comparison because while the different parts of the brain, they're very close. I wanted to ask you about your ultimate insights. Actually, you touched on them a bit because they are like what most people I think would know you for, but I find them really interesting because of the different personalities you choose to actually talk to and represent. You seem to have this ability of like, um, how do I find something I'm particularly looking for? But that thing you're particularly looking for is this underrepresented but still very interesting part of what makes up a scene that some people might not know about. So how do you go about like picking the people that you want to do your ultimate insights on?
Well, it's funny because with the first season of it, like I didn't really have a blueprint. Like we had the Tournameta podcast going, and I even remember like hitting up you and Jet saying like, I think I sent you like a project proposal because I love project proposals, and I'm like, look, this is what I want to do. This is how it's different to the Tournameta podcast. Are you guys chill with it? And both of you were like, well, we don't give a shit. It's all good. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like early on, I was like, man, what do like I kind of had the idea of like I want people that will have good stories and stories that people would be interested in. And initially, I was like, oh, it's got to be like all the top players and all the veterans and stuff. But I did one on Loki,
Yeah.
and views wise, it was like one of the highest like views out of all of them. And I'm just like, oh, people want to hear like a variety of voices and hear some of the up and comers and stuff. So with the second season, like the most recent one that I did, I was like, I'm gonna go for some of the like the real wacky ones that no one would think about. Like no one would think about like Blurry or Zondrel off the top of their head. But I thought like these guys just have such unique perspectives and like just such unique experiences, different to everyone else that you could get on there.
Um. Oh no.
Oh, hello, there we go. Do we lose you?
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if I cut out or you cut out then. Apologies. That's just one of the advantages of this over the Discord call. But you were
Yep.
saying that yeah, Loki was one of your like most popular ones, and you realized that there was an untapped market, and there were you were saying that like you really wanted to explore that and go into people never thought about like Blurry and Zondrel, and then you cut out.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just wanted to go for some of those ones that people just they just wouldn't think about, but people which I thought would have really good stories. Like personally, I'm such a sucker for the tournament organizers because they eat a lot of shit, man. They eat so much shit. It's unbelievable. They do so much for the scene and put up with so much with like so little recognition. So guys like Blurry and Levi, they're like such no brainers for me because I just think that they've seen so much in Smash. They just have such a unique perspective compared to everyone else who's just there specifically as a competitor.
The transformation from a player within the scene into a tournament organizer is a tale or a journey of cynicism and jadedness and tolerance. But that's why we have to be thankful for them. Like, they're honestly like you said, they go through they eat so much shit. Was your exact words, which is so true. They have to eat it. Someone puts a bowl of shit in front of them and says, "You have to eat this to have a good tournament," and they say, "Well, I want a good tournament."
Yeah, and we still have seed number 33 saying that they're like seeded 2 spots too low. Like
Yeah,
it's just rough for a man. I would never be able to do it. I'd be such an awful tournament organizer.
I would have gotten 32nd if I wasn't seeded as 33rd, guys. Like I would total 32. Get it together. Yeah, yeah. So not to say that you can never criticize a TO, but just make sure if you're watching at home, just to give you appreciation over when possible, because those guys do everything for us.
Oh, exactly. Like what's the last time, like to everyone listening, what's the last time you said thank you to a tournament organizer at the end of an event? Like Doesn't happen often. So make sure you go out of your way and say thank you for this event, because if it wasn't for you, it would literally not exist.
Anyways, enough thanking. We're gonna go right into. I want to Speaking of speedrun, I want to speedrun the segments and get them out of the way, because this podcast is a segment show. If you've never watched it before, we do like these little segments and talk about certain type of game shows, type scenarios. Anyways, point is, we're going to be doing the speed round first, which is I ask as many questions as I possibly can. Mittens, you're already familiar with the rules here, but I write up a bunch of different questions, and you have to answer as many as possible within a certain amount of time frame, which I think is 60 seconds or 30 seconds. I can't remember. The point is, I don't want you to try too hard, because I know you've watched it before, and I don't want you to make me run out of questions. So I got to ask you beforehand, are you aiming for the top score?
Oh man, I saw what Kyle did with the top score. I don't think I can hit it, but I'll give it my shot. Give it my best shot. I'm only one beer in, so it shouldn't be too bad.
Give it your best. I'll on the fly think of new questions, and you won't even know if we run out. So I'm going to count us in, if that's all right, and we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, first question: tea or coffee?
Tea.
Smash or Ultimate? I mean, Smash 4 Ultimate.
Smash 4, don't hate me.
Best pizza toppings?
Oh, Hawaiian.
Best theme park?
Oh, I went to the 3 theme parks this week. I really love SeaWorld. I went there yesterday.
Best Nintendo franchise?
Oh, I love Pikmin, so I'm going to say Pikmin. Oh, no, I think I've lost you again.
Is that just me?
Oh, there we go. Yes, Pikmin.
No, favorite book series?
Oh, I don't know how to read. I'm illiterate.
PM or Rivals?
Rivals.
Brawlhalla or PM?
Brawlhalla. Anything but PM.
Bowser is blank.
Sexy.
Game & Watch is blank.
Also sexy. Where's Mrs. Game & Watch?
Favorite Pro Smash player?
Ben Gold.
Your wrestler name would be?
James Riker.
Favorite food?
Pizza.
Dog person or cat person?
Oh, dude, cat person. It's in the tag. Mittens. It's the most cat name I can think of.
All right, I think we ran out of time, but I was running off of the delay on the stream. But that's a pretty good effort. I don't know how many we got all up.
I think we got 12 there. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's actually awful if I think about all the previous scores. I think the only one who may have done worse was Shadrew.
Oh, dude, you told me to stretch it out.
You did fantastic. I'm very thankful, but I can't lie. You did awful. I had a couple on here I actually wanted to ask you. So this is what sometimes we'll do with the speedrun questions. I'll go through and see if there's any extra ones. So probably the most important question on here right now that I didn't get to ask is monkey enthusiast or lizardkin?
Ooh, that's a head scratcher. Now let's go the monkeys. Monkeys are too good.
Yeah, I mean Donkey Kong / King Kong, right?
Oh man, I love zoos. I really, really love zoos. And if there's a monkey exhibit, I'll just be standing there for ages just watching them.
I went to the local zoo in Sydney here, Taronga Zoo.
I haven't been to that one. What's it like?
It's kind of depressing. A week after I went there, not even a week, it was like a couple of days. One of the monkeys died in a freak accident. I prefer Taronga Zoo, honestly, because Taronga Zoo just felt like they ran out of space and just kept cramming animals into smaller spaces.
Oh, that's so sad. I once went to the zoo in Osaka, and it was so unbelievably depressing. There was a lion that was just pacing back and forwards, and he's just saying, "Get me out of this tiny exhibit."
And they're saying all these nice things like, "Oh, this lion is our stud. We bought him from France," and you're like, "What? That's kind of messed up." And they're just like, "Yeah, we've been trying to grow more lions."
Grow? Just plant them in the fields, guys.
That's what it felt like. I went and saw the gorillas, though, was the point. I went and saw the gorillas and the monkeys, and the gorillas had the biggest exhibit out of the whole thing.
As it should be.
Yeah, they need that space, man. And they came and they ate, and that was it. They left, and I was like,
Oh.
man, why am I here? You know?
I went to Ueno Zoo over in Tokyo, and I love it. It's my favorite zoo that I've been to. But there is one section which makes me sad. It's the kangaroo section, because there's a sign that says the kangaroos will not be jumping. The reason why kangaroos jump is because they're looking for predators, and they know that there's no predators nearby, so they will just walk. And I looked at that sign, and I'm like, that ain't right.
That ain't right.
That ain't right at all.
Yeah, that doesn't add up. I don't know. I'd like do like an immediate Google. How can they even put that shit up there when people have phones these days? Wouldn't like anyone just be like, wait a second?
I love kangaroos though, so that made me sad. But it was very novel seeing kangaroos in the middle of winter in Japan, and just have it like snowing and seeing kangaroos.
That'd be so weird. How would you feel as a kangaroo?
Cold.
So out of your element.
Yeah, just not right.
Yeah. I had a couple other questions I thought I should ask you. Favorite non-character?
Sorry, can you repeat that one?
Favorite non-Smash character?
Oh, from like, I'll even go like not Nintendo. Well, actually, no.
Yeah,
I really like Ring Fit Adventure. I'm a big advocate for Ring Fit Adventure, and there's no Smash reps.
But do you like the Ring Fit Adventure character?
It's a bit of a blank slate, so that's a bit whatever. Man. Oh man, I recently played God of War on the PS4.
I finished that like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and yeah, Kratos is like fantastic in that game. I loved him in that game.
That game was insanely good. That's like one of the only few games you would get a PS4 for exclusively, right? Like almost makes it worth it.
Oh, absolutely. No, that game was awesome. Like I really enjoy like Zelda likes. Like if there's any elements of Zelda, I'm all in. And there was just enough Zelda in there that it was scratching that itch, and I was like, yeah, this is what my goblin brain needs.
For me, it was the combat. I was like, this is like some hack and slash had a baby with Dark Souls, which had a baby with Zelda. Like this just feels so good. Every second is just like if you're exploring or you're fighting, whatever it is, it's all fun.
Oh no, game is awesome. Yeah, big recommendation. Big recommendation to everyone for that one.
Can't wait for God of War 2, which of course will come out. It must come out on the PS4, right? No, sure. It's going to come out on the PS5, and I'm never going to get it. Anyway, the other question I had was, when a noob player asks for friendlies, I will say blank.
Oh, I'd say absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, always want people in there.
You're one of those players who I wanted to put this question in here, because if anyone's new who's coming to a tournament, they should like run straight to you, beeline it, because you're, like I said, charismatic, upbeat character, and you'll have a skill of making other people feel at ease. So I just wanted to slip that out there to recommend other people to go and use you for their happiness.
Just leech the happiness off me like an emotional vampire. But no, everyone, like, hit me up for friendlies at tournaments. It's a bit of a double-edged sword that I've been doing so well lately, because it means like less time for friendlies. Because I used to be like eliminated, and then like, sweet, I can just go play friendlies for hours. But now it's like people keep asking. They're like, "Oh, can we do friendlies?" I'm like, "Yeah, when I finish my bracket, which will be in a little while."
Yeah, and sometimes like you're like, "Oh, I've got a game in like 5 minutes. Should I really be playing friendly?"
Oh, dude, the answer is no, because my brain just switches over to friendlies mode. Because I'll just start playing. Even if I play just Bowser and friendlies, it just totally changes what I'm like for the rest of the night.
It changes your whole game plan and stuff as well. You're like, your brain's like, hey, roll to down smash working. You should do that in your tournament set.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and then it doesn't quite work out. That's another thing I wanted to ask you about. So you have said a lot that like Bowser's like one of your favorite characters in terms of like play wise, how it feels on your hands intuitively. So what about Bowser is it? Is it just like the fact that he feels really plug and play, that you can just like pick him up at every time? Or do you feel like the character matches your play style and your personality?
Well, it's funny because I played Bowser a whole bunch in Smash 4.
Mm.
And like he was probably my most successful character in Smash 4, and he was so grab heavy. I like grapplers in fighting games.
Yeah.
Um, and then in Smash Ultimate, he was so different, and I was like, nah, this character sucks. I don't like him. So I just started messing around with all these others like Samus and Ridley and all of those, and then I started watching like Atlos and Glace and some of those other guys play Bowser, and I'm like, oh, that's how you're meant to do it. And yeah, at some point it just kind of clicked with just Bowser's like although he's huge, his movement. I just love his movement because he's such a fast faller. His ground speed is ridiculous. I'm just like zooming around, and he feels like he has just enough of a complete toolkit that I can be in pretty much any scenario, and I'll have an answer to it.
He's like a very mobile tank.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too mobile. It kind of doesn't make sense, but no, it feels good to play.
The other character that people might know you for, Game & Watch, was a character that you were a big advocate for in the early meta. I remember you in a conversation in a chat was saying that Game & Watch is like going to be busted and he has a good matchup into Snake. I remember a lot of other people in the chat were sort of like, I don't know, Game & Watch. But that character's hella turned around. But as it's
Exactly.
become like revered as one of the best characters in the game, are you still playing him as often, or are you sort of like letting him go?
Oh man, it's funny because now that everyone's realizing he's busted, I don't play him like ever now because
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got this funny aversion to top tiers. I really enjoy weaker characters. Like I'm not saying Bowser's a weaker character. Like he's really really quite good, but I just love to play like in this game. I love to play Ridley and Byleth and King K. Rool and all these like crap characters because it's just so rewarding if you can use their limited toolkit and get wins.
You don't find it frustrating and being like, oh man, it's an uphill battle all the way?
Oh yeah, it's so frustrating. But if you lose, you're like, oh, I only lost because I was playing a crap character. But if you win, you're just like, I'm sick at this game. I can beat you with bloody Byleth. Come on, man.
It's a win-win. Byleth got some
exactly.
buffs recently. How are you feeling it?
Oh, dude, they're pretty good. Because I was the biggest one for me was her up B comes out a little bit quicker, and I would use the up B all the time as like an offensive move, which probably wasn't the smartest, but now it's a bit more viable. But
It's
no,
a-
I think some of the buffs have been like, yeah, they make sense. There's still a few things I would do differently, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it.
What things would you say you do differently with Byleth? Would make her or him a little bit faster, or
It would be good to be faster, but I don't think that's going to be happening. I think the biggest thing is she has no kill throw. Like you can be at 200% and she can grab you and you're living, unless you're like right at the edge, and then that's it.
so
So
she
I don't
got
know.
Fox syndrome where you can just shield forever? But doesn't she have like crazy shield pressure options that can snap your shield?
Yeah, she does, but it's like the down smash, and it's like I think it's the slowest down smash in the game, or like it has the worst FAF. So if you miss it, you're just boned. Like it's hilarious if you do hit it, but yeah, man, if you miss it,
Comes
it's
at cost.
oh, it comes at a huge cost, which is good because that's how you want to balance the character. But yeah, just stuff like that with the grabs. And man, the fully charged special is just like borderline useless. It doesn't even break shields at full shield. It's ridiculous. It's like Jigglypuff's pound.
Have you found that any other of the DLC characters have sort of like tickled your interest yet?
Yeah, I think Byleth was the closest. I try everyone. I'm one of those weird guys that actually plays like all of like the spirit boards and like finish World of Light and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that is
So
weird.
like, yeah, I know. So I've actually like given everything a proper crack and every character, and I actually really like Terry, even though Terry is like really complex and I'm not a complex player at all. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed Terry. But yeah, Byleth, out of all the DLC, it's got to be her.
I don't mean to be rude, but how do you mean Terry is complex?
Well, he's not. Like, okay, so he gives the illusion that he's complex. I always thought, oh man, he's going to be as hard as like Ryu or Ken or something. And then I picked him up and I'm just like, oh wait, it's not. It's really quite easy.
Yeah, he's a little reductive in comparison, I think.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
still quite powerful.
Yeah, no, I take that one back. That one, it's a bit. Yeah, he's not. He has some stuff, but like it's nowhere near as technical as some of the other characters in the game.
One of the things that I think about when I think about characters that are like their options are a lot more straightforward is sometimes they're dealt with more difficult decisions. So like Terry might be less complex because his game plan is more straightforward. But especially when he's put into disadvantage or when he's in neutral and he has to figure out a way to get his game plan going, he actually has like, okay, this decision that I have to make to get into the right position is actually more difficult than it would be for someone who has just a plethora of options.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Terry is very like a lot of his game plan is around like the jab, power dunk sort of stuff, and you can't do that in the air. So yeah, he's very like his good stuff is really really strong. Of course, like you got the falling like nair into down air and that sort of stuff, but yeah, his base game plan is quite straightforward. And so you just got to like just focus on that and fixate on that. But yeah, he's not like Wolf with like a big Swiss Army knife of options.
Yeah. And just like pick the best one or the second best one.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Is this the time of the night where we talk about Crash Bandicoot being a DLC character?
it's not going to happen. And I am just absolutely happy with putting the Crash Bandicoot dream in the fucking grave and letting it lie there until I no longer be heartbroken. You know, I don't understand how they could do Crash Bandicoot either, because the day that Crash 4 came out was the same day that they announced Byleth DLC. Can you imagine the disappointment?
Oh man, no
You're
disappointment, bro. It's all good.
Dude, they're gonna do it. It's on the same day. Like, of course they're planning it. It's gonna be the Switch release, and they're gonna do like a cool little transition, and you're watching it, and you're like, but don't get your hopes up. Don't get your hopes up, because look who it is. It was awful.
Oh, dude, it's Crash Bandicoot. All he can do is spin. He's got no moveset, isn't that right, Cap?
Yeah, he's got no moveset, nothing interesting about him, and that's why he shouldn't be in Smash. You've convinced me, and I don't want to have any hope anymore. I'm like, what's the guy? I'm like from Avengers when when Black Widow goes to rescue him, and he's like killing all the samurai and the yakuza, and he's like, "Don't do that. Don't give me hope."
Okay, how about Doomguy? Because I'm on board for Doomguy being a DLC character.
Doomguy would actually be sick, in my opinion. I feel like he's got a whole range of weapons. He has the history. Like, there's been Doom games on Nintendo devices, exclusive Doom games, like Nintendo.
Doom 64, crazy.
Different take on like the Doom feel, which was around at the time. A bunch of Doom games were released. Like, I think original Doom was released on a Nintendo system. It sounded like shit and looked like shit, but it was released on it.
Sounds right, yeah.
But
yeah,
also,
I think he'd be so sick. Like he'd be awful to verse because he'd be really fast and a zoner, which is such a bad combination.
Yeah, he'd be toxic as hell.
I think he'd be so awesome. I'm really on board for Lara Croft being in the game because I'm a big old Tomb Raider fan, and I think when it comes to like video game history, like she's right up there. But I guess these days she's far less significant and relevant than she used to be.
Well, yeah, like which Lara Croft are we talking about? Like which version? You're gonna have an OG retro skin, or you focus on the new one?
Oh yeah, it's gonna have all the skins. You're gonna have the crazy pointy polygon boobs version, and that's the one that everyone's gonna play. But I'm gonna be playing the reboot one. So I love the reboot games. I think they're so good.
Because, you know, if they take any inspiration for how the old game's handled, she'll feel like absolute shit to play. So I don't know. They'd have to just get very inspired from the new ones. And then the question remains then, how relevant are the new ones in the current like video game world? And
they're really not.
Yeah. But you played the new ones.
I love it. Yeah, I really love them. I really, really like them. I remember seeing, I'm going to butcher these numbers, but I remember seeing an earnings call with Square Enix saying, oh, yes, the new Tomb Raider game sold only 8 million copies. It's such a disappointment. And I'm like, what were you guys expecting? Like, what? It sold a huge, huge amount, but they were so sad about it. But no, those games are sick, but the old ones are just like garbage. Don't play those.
I watched a video going into Tomb Raider's history, a while back. It was like a little mini documentary. And even historically, like the Tomb Raider games that were released originally that started the craze terribly were outperformed by the actual recognition and marketing power that the character held in comparison to the games. Like you'd have people who were doing cosplay and ads and stuff for Tomb Raider and go, yeah, no, that's for me. And they've never even like seen the game be played, you know?
Yeah, like didn't she? It's weird to say she because she's not real, but didn't she do Playboy? Like, wasn't Lara
Yeah.
Croft in Playboy once?
I'm pretty sure she was, yeah.
Yeah, like how wild, like how bizarre is that? Like it's just
she
so
really
odd.
traveled all around the media world and didn't take her game with her.
Yeah, I think that people that weren't alive or just like really young during those like mid to late 90s, like she was enormous. Like yeah, Lara Croft was such a huge deal back then.
Yeah. It would be nice. The other one that I'm actually hoping gets in, which I saw a report recently about, or a news article, was Rayman.
Yeah, I've heard that one said a lot. Like, I don't have much attachment to the Rayman series, but I don't know. I feel like he's not even that significant in gaming history, but I don't know. If he gets in, that's fine. It's inoffensive.
I think he's the first like big win for Ubisoft.
Yeah.
And he's still in a lot of ways like a representation of them because the Rabbids are probably their biggest selling point, the younger audiences. And the Rabbids originally come from like a spin-off of Rayman. You had Rayman raving Rabbids and stuff, and that's how they blew up. And now they're like Rabbids is the entry point of interaction between them and Nintendo. So I think naturally Rayman comes afterwards because you already got like Rabbid Mii skins.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I think it's logical. If it happens, I'd be like, yeah, cool. But I don't know. I can't. I don't know much about the franchise, but I can't really picture what the moveset would be like. And that's it for me. Like, I'm all about the moveset and the functionality. Like I don't care about Byleth in the absolute slightest, but I love that moveset. That moveset is so fun.
Yeah, I think the moveset's got a lot of potential. If you've played, there's one game that I would recommend you play, which is I'm pretty sure it's Legends. It's definitely not Origins. Yeah, so it's Rayman Legends. Just
like, the 2D ones. Yeah, I played a bit of those. Those were really good.
Legends is like top class, relevant in modern platformer world, which is insane to say when you think about how many fantastic platformers there are out there.
Yeah, I'd say like outside of stuff like Celeste, it's probably like one of the best like 2D platformers that's come out in the last like decade or so.
I still haven't played Celeste.
No, neither have I. I really want to. I really really love platformers. Like
Yes.
yeah, I grew up around platformers in the 90s. Everything was like 2D and then 3D platformers. I love platformers.
It's definitely on my list. I've been listening to this Spotify playlist for waking me up called Water Levels because I was like, oh, I wonder if there's a Spotify playlist that just has all of like the water levels in different games because they're all bangers.
Oh, that's
and then,
sick.
Yeah, so I found this playlist just called Water Levels and it's got heaps of video game music. Disappointingly so, not a lot of them are water levels. But surprisingly, pleasantly so, a lot of them is just good video game soundtracks. And there's a lot of Celeste on there that when I'm listening in the car and I don't know what song's playing, I'm just like, damn, this is a banger. What is this? And I go, oh, it's fucking Celeste again. So that's my number one reason for playing it or going to play it is it's just nonstop bangers.
I didn't even know it was like known for music. I can't even see chat, but everyone in chat, drop your favorite like platformers in the chat because I want to have a look at them later on and go through them.
Decide which ones to get.
Yeah, hell yeah! I love the Donkey Kong games, the Donkey Kong Country games, and even Tropical Freeze. I thought Tropical Freeze was awesome, fantastic game.
19 Embo says Hollow Knight. I played that a bit. That one's really fun, but it feels daunting.
Yeah, I actually couldn't like. I played it for about 5 hours. I'm definitely the minority, but I couldn't really click with it. I really like Metroidvanias, but I don't know. I couldn't get into it, but I'm not sure why. But shout out to Hollow Knight. It was an Australian game. I think Victoria by like 2 people or something. It's crazy.
Wow,
there's been a few Aussie games coming out. Untitled Goose Game, despite being set in bloody London or something. That's an Aussie one. The Gardens Between is a really, really good indie kind of like puzzle game, which I played recently, like puzzle platformer, and there's stuff like Golf Story. There's a few Aussie games coming out now. It's awesome.
I've just decided we absolutely need to get a segment on the show, which will be what you've been playing recently that's not Smash, because I'm like, damn, I gotta add a bunch of these to my list, and I was really looking for something for a while, and I haven't been able to find anything that I really enjoyed, but now I'm getting some recommendations.
Yeah. I play like it's like I like straight up don't play Smash at home like at all. I pretty much just play Smash at tournaments, and that's it. And yeah, I just like because if I'm playing Smash at home, it means I'm not playing like other video games, and I still like to play so many different games. Like I'm playing through Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've never played a Final Fantasy game before somehow, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm up to the part where Cloud starts to cross dress, so it's a weird game.
Yeah, that is the best part about the game, I think. Highlight moment. I only played the original up until I think I got past where the first, like the remake gets to, like because the remake's going to come in parts. Spoilers, but
I know it. Like it's the Midgard like saga, and then it goes like open world after that. Yeah,
but I only played it up until I got to the open part. But the game is so like onto one beat until the next beat, onto the next beat. It just feels nonstop. But each story might not be a super winner each beat might not be a super winner, but enough of them hit you deep enough that you're like, wow, this is pretty good. Zondrel says there's an old 2D platformer called Asylum that I played on the Acorn computers in primary school. Goated.
Wow. Okay, and I haven't heard of that one. I played a lot of like really random as like old PC games, like all those like the cinematic platformers, like the stuff like Prince of Persia and like Flashback, where the controls were garbage, but man, it looked cool.
I remember Prince of Persia: Sands of Time 3D version.
That was really good. I played that one on the GameCube. That was great. I think they're remaking that one. We're doing like I think it's a full-on remake, not a remaster.
Yeah, which would be nice if it's good, but we'll have to wait and see.
Oh yeah, dude! If you see me at a tournament, someone come and talk to me about games, because I love so many games outside of Smash.
Anyway, let's move on to a next segment. I want to get these things speedrun, like I said. We've got the next one up. I'm going to put you to the test. We're going to do Ganon's Advocate.
Ooh, okay. I'm ready for this.
This one's always tough for me. So basically what I do is I come up with points that I think the person will not agree with, but they have to argue for it anyways, like devil's advocate. But it's always tough to find something that really clashes with your personality and who you are and your fundamental beliefs without just being offensive and rude. So I've got 3 here. We're going to go into the first one. Creating content through your phone is objectively superior to through your computer. Not really a fundamental belief one, but I know it's relevant. So what do you reckon?
Well, yeah. So I'm the one that is defending it.
No, yeah, you're arguing this point. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I'll tell you what. Okay, so everyone listening, I haven't owned a computer for about 6 years until like the other week. So everything, all the content that you've seen me do, all the writing, all the ultimate insights when I wrote up the bloody Queensland 40, I did like a player profile like a year ago for every Queensland 40 person and put that online, and all of that was through my phone. So if I can do that, like, damn, that's better than the content that everyone else is making, because they're not even making content. Like, think about it this way. Like, with your phone, you can be at work and you should be working. But instead of working, you could just be on your phone making content for stuff. How good is that? Can you do that on your PC? Can you lug your PC to work and then?
Well, I mean, if you've got a laptop, you can.
Nah, never heard of them. Nah, it's all about the phones, man. Wait, and the thing is, my phone is like an Oppo. It's like a $300 like mid-range phone. So if I can do that, man, it's so good. It's so good. Get your content out there. Do it on your phone. Stuff everything. You don't need a keyboard. Just wrestle with autocorrect all day. It's fine.
The autocorrect kills me.
Dude, it's so brutal. The amount of like if you've ever talked to me over like Messenger, like it's just gibberish sometimes. It will just autocorrect to the most bizarre things.
And then half the time you're like, oh well, I gotta fix that. And the other half the time you're just like, fuck it, press send.
Yeah, they know what I'm trying to say. It's close enough.
Yeah. So you've traded a deal of convenience working with your I'm assuming you got an at-home like desktop computer.
No, it is a laptop. Yeah, it's
Okay.
a laptop at home.
So besides the advantages of having a keyboard, do you think there's much else that becomes like easier and straightforward?
Yeah, like realistically, I can actually do things that aren't just text based. Like that was the thing. Like all my content was text based because there was like literally nothing else I could do. What was I gonna do? Was I gonna edit a video on my phone? I don't think so. That's gonna be garbage. Yeah, so having a laptop, I can actually do that stuff now.
All right, we'll move on to the next one. That one was pretty fairly well argued. I feel like the only advantage to have is the convenience of being able to take it anywhere.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like realistically, you can't do it. Yeah, it's pretty garbage. Like it's pretty garbage.
I'm not going to try and make him say anything else. It's a bit rough.
You can't defend it.
The next one. Being a veteran doesn't mean much. The meta moves on, and the current state of play is always the highest level.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, you know when Smash Ultimate came out? And did you see all of us stupid Smash 4 vets just trying to do grabs constantly? Like that, someone would do an aerial onto our shield and we'd just try to grab.
Like
and
idiots.
We're just like, it doesn't work. I better try it again for the next 6 months. Like if you come in fresh, you're coming in saying like, oh, I know what the meta is. I don't have any of these old hang-ups. I don't have any of this old baggage that I have to hold on to. Like being a vet, it's garbage, man, because all you ever do is talk about like, oh, you know, in Smash 4, this character used to do this character. In Smash 4, Bayonetta was this and that. And if you're an ultimate, if you're a newcomer, you don't have to put up with that nonsense. You don't need that useless information about Bayonetta in your brain. She doesn't matter.
Yeah. But don't you think like so there's like some fundamental core lessons you can learn that take a really long time to build up, and then you can use those in a variety of different games?
Yeah, you can, but also you can have a variety of different games to bring those lessons in. So like if you've been playing Tekken or Street Fighter all your life and come into Smash, you're going to like mop the floor with everyone because you already know about like footsies, you know about conditioning. But if you're just like, you know, if you're just a veteran in Smash, nah, all you know how to do is shield grab and that's it.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good. That was not bad. I'm going to drop the facade. That was disparagingly convincing.
As a Smash 4 vet that kept trying to shield grab,
yes.
I've lived it, man. It was rough. It was so rough. I'm like, why am I so bad at this game? Everyone's so good.
Everyone was like, oh my God, it's amazing. We're going to have a new game that's going to be more aggressive, and we're going to have like the cool air dodge, and it's going to be much more rewarding to go in. And everyone was like, man, I can't just shield grab anymore.
Legit. Man, I look back at Smash 4 and I'm like, that game looks garbage now. Like, have you seen the knockback? You just slowly fade away and die.
Yes.
But when I started playing Ultimate, I said, it's too fast. I don't like it.
Ganon's Advocate is relevant because I saw a Ganon montage that was like, I remember it being the best Ganon montage I've ever seen. It was like incredibly amazing. I blew my mind to what Ganon could do when I first saw it. Sent it to every Ganon player I ever knew and was like, you need to just be this person playing right now. This is your only hope to be competitive. And I watched it recently and I was like, man, There's a bunch of footstool shit here, and that's it. Like, this looks
Yep, nothing.
so floppy and woo, 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 woo,
It's so limp and floaty. It's in the speed round, you were like Ultimate or Smash 4, and I said Smash 4, and trust me, it's not because of the game. It ain't
No.
the game. I just have so many good just memories around the Smash 4 time. But if I picked up the game now, I'd be like, this is garbage. Give me back Ultimate.
There were some things about the gameplay that I prefer, but as
Like
a
how
whole,
you could kill people at 0.
no. See, like, all that shit was like, get that out of the game.
That was festy, man. Let's do
Yeah.
2 stock, and then I can kill you with my 0%.
Oh my god,
kill
2
convert.
stock! I forgot.
I know. I was watching. I don't know why. I must have been really, really lonely that night. But I was watching back my old Smash 4 VODs, and oh my goodness, man! I was watching it, and I was like, "Wait, the game's finished? Oh yeah, 2 stock. What the hell?"
The game plan would change as well. You'd be like, man, if I get the first stock, I'm at such a huge advantage because I get
It's
rage.
enormous. And it's so funny. The reason why we did 2 stock is because that's what was online. Isn't that ridiculous to look back on now? It's like, well, who cares? Who cares what online says?
There are a couple people who are like, if we do 3 stock, Sonic games will take forever.
Bro, we have Shitashi in Queensland. The games, we have games that will go forever anyway. Like, there's no denying it.
Queensland did 3 stock for a while, to be fair.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, no, we did. We did a fair bit of 3 stock in the end.
Do you feel like there are going to be fundamental like rule set changes in Ultimate at all?
Nah, not like huge. I think, well, considering that like the current discussion is about like, should we do 8 minutes or 9 minutes? Like, I think at this point it's fairly like incremental. What I would have loved to see is if what's it called, the bloody crew thing, not Smashdown, the other one.
Oh,
Squad Strike, yeah.
Squad Strike.
If Squad Strike took off, and so the game, I'm pretty sure the game doesn't actually allow you to do this, but I would have loved it if we ran 3 stock. It was all in Squad Strike, and if you wanted to, you could say, "Oh, I'm going to be playing Light Peach, but I'm going to just play Light Peach for all 3 stocks." You put it down for all 3 stocks. But if you're like a weird boy like me, and I'd be like, well, I want Bowser for 1 stock, I want Byleth for another stock, and K. Rool for another stock. It'd give you that option.
I'm pretty sure you can do that in PM.
Yeah, I think you can in PM, but in Ultimate, I'm pretty sure it doesn't let you just choose the character multiple times. But if they did that, I would have loved that as an option, because it's one of the. So the way I look at it is, I like things that give you more possibilities without limiting your possibilities. So like, if people didn't want to, if people just wanted to do a solo main, fine, they can. It doesn't like change anything. But if someone wants to do like, oh, I want to play like, two stocks with Roy and 1 with Crom, like, yeah, that'd be sick. But
That would be sick.
That would be sick. I don't know. I think that'd be really cool. But the game doesn't allow it. I was kind of like putting the idea out there on the early days of Smash Ultimate before we found out how limited Squad Strike was. But people weren't super keen. It's kind of like customs. It's like, oh, there's a thing that's here, but it's hard to convince people to get behind it. Although custom moves were like garbage. So bit of a different case there.
The problem would come about with counter picking. Like if someone's like, oh, I'm going to be like, you'd have to take like pick each stock, like a you take a turn, I take a turn.
Yeah, it'd be a bit of a like very slow process.
Yeah, it'd be like, okay, you pick your first character, then I pick the next 2, and then you pick your 2, and then I pick my 3rd.
Yeah, it'd just like draw everything out a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it still would have been cool. I don't know.
I would have loved to have played it as a side bracket. If Squad Strike was just more like that, where you could be like, no, I'm going to solo main against all these like character specialists. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that'd be so cool. I don't know. Again, it's like, I would have loved to have more options, but hit me up at tournaments about doing Squad Strike, because I'll do Squad Strike with anyone. Yeah,
we need popularized Squad Strike. That should have been one of the questions on the speedrun. Squad Strike versus doubles. What do you reckon?
Oh, Squad Strike by a mile. It was actually really cool because that's what happened with Metashift. It was deciding if they were going to put Squad Strike or Squad Strike. No, it was crews. That's right. It was crew battle or doubles on like a certain date. Then they gave the nod to to the crew battles instead of doubles.
Did you feel like that was a wise decision?
Yeah, I think so. Because I think I might be getting my majors confused, but I think they did squad strike, doubles, and crew battles. So crew battles were like just individual people for that. But yeah, I think crew battles is like the optimal. Well, so not optimal isn't the word, but the most hype like viewing experience for Smash. Like I love to watch crew battles.
Yeah, crew battles are what got me into Smash, like the biggest selling point. I remember watching the documentary and just being like, when they do the West Coast versus East Coast, like I was sold. I was like, this looks just so community driven, amazing. I want to get into it.
Oh, dude, it's so cool. And it's really cool to see that Queensland's really embracing crew battles again. Like we recently had the 4-1-1 versus BAM crew battle. And we were going to have like Piss Gang versus Kirby Car, but then we got COVIDed, so they got pushed back. But yeah, just stuff like that. It's just really cool that like crew battles are being embraced and people are like getting into crews, because like crews, again, like I'm all about the inclusivity with Smash, and crews is just such a good way to like, you know, find your community in the community and like get connected with people. It's really, really sick.
Find your crew if you're out there. Make it or find it. And it's so easy. You can just ask to be part of someone's crew if you want, and they'll put you in.
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, just make a crew. Get your mates together. It's like, it doesn't matter if we're like, you know, if we're all just started and if we're all just in like amateur bracket, dude, make your crew and rep it and be like, this is our name, this is our logo, and then celebrate all your successes together. It's like, it's so awesome watching crews just slowly build each other up and slowly move up the rankings. Like that's what happened with Buster Move with BAM. They're like just a whole bunch of new guys. They all got together and now 4 of them are PR. It's crazy.
I just realized that Jet changed the panel from Ganon's Advocate to Tournameta podcast, and I completely forgot that I had a third Ganon's Advocate.
Oh yeah, what's the third one? Is it about
we're gonna switch the panels back. Hold on, I'm waiting for the confirm. All right, top level players are the only real storylines that matter in a Smash scene. They have the best gameplay and they take the game most seriously.
Oh yeah, of course, dude. Have you seen low-level players? Hey, you know, there's a reason. There's a reason why on stream it's always about like winner's side and stuff. Like, what's the last time you ever saw like redemption bracket grand finals on stream? Never. Nothing happens in there. Come on, man. Like the game. Have you seen the gameplay? There's a reason why they're in redemption bracket. Like they're not even that good. They're not even staying in the normal bracket.
Is the gameplay the most important part about watching a match, though?
No, but it's a huge part of it. And also, like, you know, have you seen our top players? Super charismatic, so much like character. Even like quiet dudes like Shadru. Have you seen his Twitter? If you didn't know Shadru, you would think he's like the most like snarky bitch in the world, because he's like it's so funny. If you don't read the context, you look on his Twitter and he's just like, oh, I played really badly the last two tournaments, but it's okay. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna win like the next 3. It's like, dude, the confidence on that man, it's sick. It's so sick. Like, yeah, big personalities, big gameplay, low level players. Thanks for the pot money, and that's it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, what can you say? That's nothing but facts.
Obviously, I do not feel that way at all. I do. This is just Ganon's Advocate, dude. I don't. You are
so good at making like a reasonable, good ass like Ganon's Advocate, though. I think if there was a score sheet for best Ganon's Advocate reps, you'd be up there.
Oh, dude, it's the we're 3 beers in. It's fueling me. No, like seriously, guys, I don't feel that way in the absolute slightest. I think that there's so many interesting storylines happening like everywhere in Smash. Like in the local scene, seeing the rise of certain players is so damn exciting. Like seeing guys like Caden moving up, Onigiri moving up, like Jix. I got to watch Jix play stupid ass King K rule, and now he's like one of the top 3 in Queensland. Like, what an exciting like journey.
Yeah. I feel like even like within a single tournament as well, like if you look at like how to craft storylines, top players are helpful, but you often need those like ongoing through multiple tournament like careers of the mid to low level players that to help you build up the top players. Like the top players do have interesting storylines, but they'd be nothing if they didn't have the competition of what was going on around them to face, you know?
Yeah, like top players are like one thing, but what's more exciting than Lunchy beating Sad Hour 3-0 at like last FNS? Like it's just wild that things like that can just happen. Like just huge upsets from players that you just don't expect. Like I would hate to be like a top player. I'd hate to be like top 5 of the PR because it would just be everyone gunning for you all the time. I would not be able to deal with that, man. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, being a top player is tough. I would never know though. So
because you don't like, there's only so far you can go. Like there's when you're so close to the top, like there's only so much room to grow, but then there's just so much space to fall below you, man. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Honestly, the closer I've gotten to being good, the more discouraging and less motivation I've had because you don't have like it's like you said, like there's less space to grow and your challenges become more difficult, but there's so much to lose on every game.
Oh, definitely. Like, and I think a lot of it's like mentality as well. Like I look at guys like Finn Sad Hour. I'm just like, how can he be so damn consistent for so long and just not like, you know, because he's had occasional times where he'd like lose to someone that you wouldn't expect him to lose to, but then he's just fine the next week. He's just back to Sad Hour. I'm like, man, he doesn't crack. He doesn't like lose all this momentum all of a sudden. And he's like not a singular case. There's so many guys that are like that. It's really inspiring for guys that can keep their mentality. Yeah, that resilience is just so good.
Yeah, it's always been pretty impressive for me. I never thought about it until I was actually like playing competitively, and then you're like, when you think about, okay, what's my stat sheet look like? You know, am I good enough to make it onto this 40, or am I good enough to make it on the PR? And then you got to be like, okay, let's tally all my losses, and then you go into your next tournament after you do all of that, and you having a close game against someone. The pressure on you to be like, I need this. I need to not lose, not win, not play good. I need to not lose or I won't make it to my goal. That's what is like, yeah, killer.
It's dangerous. It's such a dangerous thing. Like we had a bit of discussion a little while ago about some of the negatives about something like the Queensland 40. And man, I get it. I totally get it. I obviously think there's a lot of positives. I'm a big advocate for it, but don't let yourself not have a good time with this game. Like I know that it's a competitive, I'm doing the finger thing, the competitive fighting game, but man, it's an experience. It's like it's a community. It's like that all comes first before the competitive nature of it. Like it's just, don't get in your head about it, man. If you're not having fun with the game, take a step back and say like, what is getting in the way? Am I getting too worried about results? Am I too worried about this or that? Like
which is why I really wanted to have you on as well, because I feel like your creation of content is an inspiration for people, because what you do is you show people that there is, in your own worlds, like things to inspire you in a similar way the 40 would. Like I remember when I was first getting into the scene, one of the things that really made me like, oh, I'm so enjoying this, was when I was making my little crew, someone did a like little banner for us when they were helping us make the crew. Like everyone was like getting and trying to do their part, like, oh, I'll do the editing of the videos, you know, as you are when you're getting in there. But someone made a little banner and I was just like, oh, this is it. Like, this is so sick. This is us. This is what we do and stuff like that. And so I feel like people like you and people who are feeling like they might be inspired by this are super important to the community, because yes, the 40 is good, but it started off as someone just doing exactly what I described, doing something that might not have been what people were asking for, but they thought was like beautiful in their own way. And so,
yeah, 100%, man. Do like legit. If you want to do it, don't wait for someone to tell you to do it. Just pick it up and do it, man. Like I get, like it's a bit of a joke, but like if I can do some of this stuff on my phone, typing it all out with my bloody thumbs, like man, like it's just persevere, man. Just like push through. If you want to create something, just do it, man. If you want to, if you think, hey, this would benefit a lot of people, even if it just make your friends happy, if you just pop your mates and they'd have a bit of a giggle about the funny picture you made, dude, just do it. Don't overthink it.
Just your dreams come true.
Do it, bro. Do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, man, and that's it. Like the Queensland 40, I kind of watched it because Ben Gold and Battledorf, and they're like two of my best friends in Queensland Smash, and I just kind of watched it just happen organically, and them just saying, "Hey, would it be cool if we did like a 40?" And it's just they just kind of both shrugged their shoulders and said, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's just do it ourselves." It's so cool to see.
Bro, not even gonna give me props for the G40.
G40, dude, the G40, that's a throwback. So for context, back in Smash 4, there was one guy, just one person whose tag was G. He just said, I'm going to make like a top 40 players in Queensland. And he just like kind of looked at their last like couple of months and stuff, and he just made a list. And of course he got criticized. Of course there was people doing I'm number 33, I should be number 30 and that sort of stuff. But it was, it just kind of grew. And then and then you, Declan, Cap. Sorry, are we peeling back the curtain too much?
Whatever you want, man. People can call me Declan. People can call me Cap. I don't mind.
Let's go, Declan. And you, Declan, you got on board and you started doing like player profiles for it.
Not what happened? We went to OHN together, and I was like hanging out with him on our way back, like in the airport and stuff. And I was talking to him. I was like, bro, when's the G42 come out? And he was like discouraged as hell. He was like, man, I don't want to do another G40. And I was like, what? Why? That was like, we got to have the G40 compete. And I was almost half memeing. Like, I was like, yeah, dude, just do another one and like get memed on. It'll be great. And he was like, no, I'm not doing it. And I was like, fuck that, man. You do a G40. I will do a write-up of every single player you do on the G40. I'll help you with it any way you would. And he was like, okay. And so that was it. We just fucking needed a little bit of inspiration. I needed to be inspired by his first G40, and he just needed to be inspired by someone wanting to help him. And boom, we actually made one that was like super sick.
It was sick. Like the visuals were awesome. Your write-ups were like enormous on all these players. It was so cool. So anyone like listening or watching right now, if you're looking for the sign, if you're looking for the kick up the butt to start that project, Smash or otherwise, this is it. Just go out there and do it, bro. Don't overthink it.
Make your own 40 and then just throw out all the rules. Just rank the players that you are like, this guy is sick, this guy ain't sick, but he's good. Just like do it all in your head, and then boom, you've already entered the scene.
I want to see someone out there that's like, you know, in like the amateurs or the redemption silver or that sort of stuff. I want someone to just throw together like a top 10 players to look out for list. Like just stuff like that is so sick because you guys have that perspective. Like I'm not in there playing against like these guys week after week, but you guys are. So just chuck up like a top 10 players to look out for in the bronze and silver redemption brackets. Like it's just so easy. You just do it. Just do it. And that's stuff that not everyone can do, and you can do that. So just do it.
That is a really good point because those guys do have like the best perspectives of that level. The more you like move away from that, the less you actually get to do a like, all right, is this person like someone who's coming up or whatever? You just have to like face whatever's in front of you and make the read there and then, while other people get to see, hey, this guy had super big potential while I played him, or this guy had like, you know, a bad mentality but was playing really well for the first couple of games, etc., etc.
Like from like just speaking personally, from my experience, I only get to like I always get a buy. I hate getting buys. I want to play as much Smash as possible. Like I'm always like, seed me at the bottom. I want to play all the games. But like I don't get to verse the winners round 1 guys a lot of the time. I get to verse the winners round 2 guys. And sometimes I'll verse someone I've never heard of. Like the other week I was versing Lari, Lari. Don't know if I pronounced that right. And it was just so exciting for me because I'm like, dude, I've never heard of this guy. I've never versed this guy. But then I was able to verse him. Beat his ass. No, it was all good. But we played, and then like afterwards, I was able to tell people about him. Like, oh yeah, have you heard about this Larry guy? Like, have you like these? Like, I'm like, oh yeah, his like these aspects of his game are really good. Or like I got to verse a guy called Rice who started coming to a lot of Gold Coast events. I think I versed him in like the second match of his very first event, and I'm like, dude, this guy's sick, and he stuck it out, and now he's like pretty involved in the community. It's so good to see, man. It's so good to see. I always enjoy these opportunities to verse these guys I've never heard of and just like see what they're about and have a chat to them. And like, 9 times out of 10, they're just awesome dudes. Just really great to have a chat with as well outside of the game.
All right, I think that's a good note to move on to the next segment, the final text segment that we're going to have, and then we'll move on to Twitter questions and Twitch questions after a break.
Yep.
The final segment is Hypotheticaps. So if you don't know this one is I come up with just stupid hypotheticals that have to do with Smash. Sometimes, they're sometimes relevant. Most of the time, I think they're pretty relevant. But they just put the person in a peculiar position and we get to know a little bit more about them. So the first one off the bat, are you ready?
Yep, lay it on me, man.
You have a freak accident while at a Smash tournament where someone pegs a controller across the venue and lands on the perfect spot on your head to cause significant brain damage. The controller will never be able to be removed. Due to the side effects of this injury, you are no longer able to ask questions. How do you continue Ultimate Insight?
Well, the very important question. Okay, I got two questions here.
Yes.
One, what dark part of your brain do these hypothetical caps come from?
I just start thinking about a situation. So for me, it was you sitting at commentary, and then something happens, and then I run with it.
Perfect. And the second thing, this is most important. Is it a GameCube controller or is it a Pro controller?
It's a GameCube.
Oh, damn it.
Only GameCube controller players throw their controllers. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a Pro controller user. Neanderthals. Like how come I'm the old guy in Smash and I'm using like actual new controllers? I don't live in the
Pro
past,
controller players break them like every second month because of like the drift in the sticks anyway. So they're not like, oh, I gotta throw this thing, because they're like, no, man, I gotta buy one next week. I can't be throwing it around. Like, I'm gonna break it anyways.
Dude, my Pro controller's like munted. It like drifts to the left hardcore. The amount of times I've been on ledge and it just says, you're doing a neutral getup. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Anyways, the question is, how do I ask questions? Bro, it's going to be hard.
No, you don't ask questions. How do you do Ultimate Insight?
How do I do Ultimate Insight? I think I'm just going to have to point to people and say you and just like gesture to the computer and just get them to write. I'll see if I can trick them into like writing their own questions and their own answers. I'm like, come on, guys, you know what I want.
Do you feel like you would, because you can still speak, you just can't ask a question?
Oh, okay. I'll just give demands. Okay, you know what I'll do? I'll be like, give yourself questions, otherwise I'm going to kill you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. No,
nothing like a little threat of violence here and there. It's fine.
I like how like you just made that into them giving them their own questions. Like you didn't make the questions a demand. You would just like, no, you make your own questions and then do them. Yeah. Benthoven Gaming. Sorry, where do I place my questions? You can place your questions on Twitter. We post on the Tournameta Twitter page before we do a stream announcing the player that we're going to be interviewing, and you can post questions there. Or we do Twitch questions a little bit later after the break, and you can just put your questions in here and we can answer them. Yeah, so there you go. There's the Twitters. And if you get them in quick to the thread that asks for the Twitter questions, we'll answer them. Hopefully.
Yeah, right. Shout out to Benthoven Gaming. I've seen him on is it Good for Glory? I don't know, whatever the online is for Ultimate, 1 million times. And I saw him start to come to a Queensland like offline event. So I love to see that. All the guys are like online all the time to start coming to offline events as well. Love to see it, man. Let's get God on there. The Jigglypuff player, God. We got to get you at offline events, man.
People got to find him first. I don't know if he's real or if he's a bot or whatever. He's got a great amount of mysticism around his name and his play style. So we definitely need to get him on, but someone's got to find him first. I saw someone like went to his profile and he's got something.
Say thousands of hours, man. All he ever does is play. He hasn't slept since the game came out. He's very tired.
He's very tired. God. Dude, he's tired as hell. That's funny.
Bro, God, just have a nap, man. It's all good. That the online will still be there.
You know, he's got to continue his quest, whatever it is. He's gone.
Whatever his quest is.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see his GSP, his global smash power.
He must be up there.
I don't know how high it goes, but I reckon he might have it. There's been a couple of times that I've beaten him, and he just like disconnects immediately.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
he barely lets you
dog.
finish the game.
You dog. But nah, good on him.
That's the online strat, man. You don't play against people you lose to.
No, shout out to all the all the Wi-Fi guys that come to offline events as well. It's so cool to see.
It's always good to see them have like, I think, learn, because you see them like playing offline, and then it opens their eyes to like, oh shit, there's more you can do here.
Yeah, different game, man. It's a lot harder to just press buttons offline. But shout out to him. It's a really, really different game. I call Smash Online. It's like Smash Ultimate if you squint. It's like it looks like Smash Ultimate kind of. It's not quite there.
I've quit Smash Online for like the 6th time in a row.
That's good mental health right there. That's a good call, man.
Yeah, the 6th time is where the real good mental health comes in, not the previous 5.
Now, we all go through our 5 stages of grief, but the 6th stage of grief is just you just turn the game off,
That's the real one, yeah.
Yeah, good on you, man. I'm glad that you've made big steps. I'm really proud of you.
Thanks. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Anyway, Ultimate Insight is offered by a sponsorship by a huge food company not named Nestle.
Okay.
Yeah, so they love you. They love Ultimate Insight, and they're not Nestle, so you don't have to worry about how awful they are.
Okay.
They love your work and are prepared to give you a blank check to keep the series going with a whole bunch of different gaming personalities around the world. The catch is they demand that all future insights must be recorded in person, and that the interviews must have both parties constantly and vigorously stuffing their mouths with sponsored food products until they are barely able to speak. They also ask that between each question answered, you look into the camera and say, "I love food company's fancy feast of flavors," while sputtering out chunks of food only to be quickly replaced by your stuffing hands. They are willing to negotiate on this term, however. What do you do?
Bro, can you donate your brain to science? Like, where does this come from, man? I thought I had a weird, slimy goblin brain, but this is something else, man.
If I would think hard enough, they come out.
I would sell out in a moment. Like legit, if someone, I was thinking about this.
Like you're taking the negotiable.
I was like, dude, have I built the brand enough that I can just like pass it on to someone for a monetary value and then just like move on to my next projects? Because I got to begin there. Let's just keep growing it. Now I would like legit.
You would do the fancy food feast.
Legit, I would get rid of any artistic integrity that I have if I'm making a big dollar, like, because it doesn't get rid of the stuff I already have done. I've done some like actual artistic integrity, but let's make some money on top of it. And let's have a big feed, man.
Yeah, every episode. Hell yeah.
But I'm doing it with my phone still. I'm not bringing the laptop. We're doing it on my phone. I'm filming it on my phone.
Yeah, right. How bad does the food have to be for you to say no?
Oh, bro, I expect it to be pretty bad already.
You're already like, this shit's gonna suck.
It's gonna suck, man. There's a lot of elements here that's gonna suck, but the good thing is I get a free feed and also a lot of money. So like, it's all good, man.
Yeah, all right. Damn, dude, I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought you were gonna be like, nah, man, I can't do the speech thing.
No, yeah. Dude, I'll just start up my next project where I can actually have like a proper creative outlet and have like a bit of income on the side. So I just balance it. It's all good.
Yeah, fair enough. Who do you think you would have on?
What, for Eat Everything and Die, that version of it?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I got to get Little Z. Right. Oh, sorry, Little Z, because I'm in Australia. Little Z. I got to pop it number 1. I got to get all those guys that would bring in the big views. Like, if I'm having a bad time, and I'm making money, I'm going to make a lot of money. Like let's.
But I'm talking like they got a blank check, so they can pay people to come on. Like you can get anyone who is remotely related to the gaming industry.
Bro, let's get the Queen on.
I think she's related to the gaming industry.
Oh, dude, she's like. Have you seen the amount of kings and princesses in this game? I think she's perfect. Let's get her on. I think that she's like a bit of a hot topic in the media right now. Like, I don't know. I think it'd be pretty good. I've got a few questions to ask her anyway.
Would you ask her what a Smash main is?
Yeah, I should be like Princess Peach.
What would you ask her otherwise? Would you actually like be hitting her with the hard questions, like trying to look at her seriously with food fluffing out of your mouth?
Yeah, like you know how the Oprah Winfrey. Oh man, I'm at the point where the words are hard. you know how that interview got all the buzz? I'd be like, what do you think about her? What do you think about Oprah? Tell me what you think, Mrs. Queen.
Yeah, shall you have her murdered today or later?
Yeah, we can make it look like an accident.
I love the image of you having to talk with a mouthful of food while having that conversation.
Is she eating crap food as well? Because
and she's trying to talk seriously. So, but she doesn't stuff her own mouth with food. Either you stuff her mouth with food, or like someone on like the side of the camera off screen keeps stuffing her face.
It's like her waiter is like very gently like putting disgusting food in her mouth, and she's like, yes.
If only one day. If in one universe that is true, and that's the one hope I can go with.
Yo, shout out to Macca's. Macca's hit me up. Let's get this interview with the Queen. I want to get some ultimate insight. Let's have some bad food. Let's do it.
Man, throwing Macca's under the bus with bad food. I know some people like Macca's.
It's pretty bad.
Dude, I'm eating like KFC like right now, and I couldn't think of a worse food. But I know some people like it.
I don't know how. The KFC is the amount of time. Okay, at like two FNSs ago, like I picked up Ben Gold, and he's like, "Let's get KFC before we go to Smash." I'm like, "Yeah, sweet." So we got that. I got a bunch of KFC, and I was like stuffing my face full of it because we like turn up. I get my setup ready, and they're like tournament starting. I'm like, okay, I have like winners round 1 to eat, and then I'm going to be playing winners round 2 with no warm up. And then it came around to the point, it was like a little later in the night, I was versing Sad Hour on stream. I legitimately thought I was going to shit my pants. I was like, dude, I do not feel good right now. I know exactly who did it, and I'm on stream. So like, if this is going to happen, it's going to happen in a big way.
Oh man, that's no, I'm not going to say that. But
go on. No.
Don't be scared, Jack. I'm not going to throw Ben Gold under the bus for no reason.
I know, he's empowering. Mr. Shit His Pants. He's empowering me. Dude, I remember the event that he shit his pants. So
I remember that event. That was a nice event.
It was one of the first like offline Smash events that Ben went to, and he's like literally shit his pants. Almost no one knows him.
Can we say allegedly? I feel like it's so dirty just to like confirm.
He allegedly shit his pants, and then your brother Harry is literally walking behind him, spraying his butt with deodorant. Oh, I love you, Ben Gold. Ben Gold, you're my best friend in Queensland Smash, and I'm sad
we
that
just
you moved
had
to
to dig up the fucking traumatic experience on the topic of KFC.
Dude, I love Ben Gold to bits, but holy shit, he's a hurricane of a human. He is something else, man. He's normal. He's just so normal until he's not, and I love him for it.
He clearly had too much KFC that day.
Yes, he did not get to hold it in against Sad Hour. Someone got to him.
And speaking of KFC, I'm going to take a break and have some food to eat, open up my next cider, and that means all of you lovelies listening shall also have your break. Go grab your cup of tea, go grab your popcorn, your licorice, your stromboli, whatever it is. We'll be back in 5 to 10.
Excellent. We'll see you guys soon.
Hey, welcome to the Tournameta podcast. Thanks for letting me know I was watching the stream. It's on a delay.
Were you waiting for me to say it or something? What was that about?
No, I'm watching the stream, which is on like a 5-second delay or something.
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
like, it's going 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, I should be doing that. But then I can't see the chat. Anyway, how's everyone doing? How's your break? I hope you had a great time away from your computer, or maybe you were sitting at your computer and you were asking us questions in the chat. Which leads me to my next section. We are going to do one more recall from the depths. Explain this image. So all the people who are listening right now, which may not be many because I'm not sure how we're going to solve the recording problem, but what we have done in the very past was a section called Explain This Image, where we bring out images from this person that we're interviewing that are particularly interesting, fuck off weird, or just context driven out of your mind. And we got a couple of them for Mittens, because he's the second biggest fan of the Tournameta podcast, and he said
number 2.
He suddenly
suggested Carl's
suggested
number 1.
Yes, Carl's number 1. I hope he's still watching them. If he's not watching this, all right, at any point, he is no longer number 1. That's a big call, I know. But so we got a couple of these images for you. We'll bring out the first one, which should flick over. Yes. Okay, this one is my favorite.
Oh, it's very little for me. Hang on, let me see if I can figure out how to make it big.
Are you on your phone again?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yep. Oh, yep, I know where this is.
Yeah, explain what is going on. First of all, you have such a serious look on your face.
All right, so we're over in Tokyo right now. This is outside of a place called Robot Restaurant. And Robot Restaurant is sick. It's just 100% pure, undiluted, crazy Japan. Like, you go into this neon room where like there's lights on the walls, the floors, everything, and there's like these robot people that came out, started playing Michael Jackson music, and then they sent us down into the basement, and we had to walk past this because Japan is so like multi-leveled. One of the levels was like a strip club, and there's all these girls that were like walking past, and they're just like, who are these like guys and what's going on? So we just walk past all these strippers, and then we go into the basement, and I'm like, what is this? And then this crazy ass like robot musical theater event just occurs, and it is just pure insanity. But anyways, this one particular image, it's at the front of it. So there's these big robots set up. And I was like, oh, this looks like Evangelion. So I got in like I was riding Unit 1, and I'm just like, I'm ready to go. I'm riding this robot, man.
Yeah, but is that how you ride it? You're sitting in its lap.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you ride your robots?
Yeah, from the back usually, like going through the spinal area, or like, into the shoulders, like you sit on top, and they've got like the little gear pad out of the back of the head. I don't know.
I never considered that. Yeah, I might look into that actually. But yeah, just for now, I'm using the primitive technology of sit in the robot's lap and see what happens.
All right, sick. I've always wanted to go to Japan, but I've never been able to.
Oh, dude, it's pretty good. I've been there 3 times, which is maybe too many. I should start going to other countries. There are other countries in the world apart from Japan.
What other countries do you want to go to, though?
Oh, man, I want to go to New Zealand. It seems like such a no-brainer because it's so close. I want to go to – I don't care for America, but I want to go to Las Vegas. Something about, like, this crazy, like, adult playground in the middle of the desert is just so sick to me. My wife has actually gone to like she's done heaps of like travels all throughout the world, and yeah, she said Switzerland is really good. So I want to do Switzerland as well.
Yeah, righto. Yeah,
probably less giant robots there though.
I've always thought to myself, I'm never going to go to the US. There's nothing there for me. But if there was one thing that would pull me in, it would probably be Las Vegas.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. My sister lives in America right now. She keeps saying, come visit. And even before like COVID, but I was like, nah, I don't want to. But I do kind of want to go to Las Vegas. But she's in Florida, so that's kind of not quite the same thing.
I heard Florida's pretty nice though.
Yeah, Florida would be fun. There's a lot of wrestling over there, so I'd want to go see some of those shows. But I should probably spend time with my sister as well. I don't know.
Do you watch wrestling?
Oh, dude, yeah, you look in the Twitter questions. It's like so many wrestling questions.
So when I asked you what your wrestling name would be, that was for me. I just thought that that'd be an interesting question, but that was highly relevant for who you are.
Oh, bro. In fact, look at this next picture that's come up.
Whoa!
Jet's so quick. How does he do it?
That was pretty well timed. I think since he has realized I am watching the stream from Twitch, he's not going to rely on me to introduce the next image.
All right. So this next image, this taps in perfectly to my wrestling. So right there, that's me with Shinsuke Nakamura, who's currently a WWE superstar. He's been wrestling with them for about 4 years. But before that, he was an enormous star in New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is like the biggest Japanese wrestling group. And he was my favorite wrestler. Something about him, he has like this crazy like physical charisma. He moves around like a mix between Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson. Like everything is just so bizarre and energetic with him. And this is really random. He did, for some bizarre reason, before he signed with WWE, he did a show in Adelaide. He flew down to Adelaide for a show in front of 100 people. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm getting on this. So I jumped on a plane and I went to Adelaide to watch this wrestling show where he just happened to be on it. And yeah, this is after the show. Me and Mr. Nakamura posing together. I've even got the same haircut as him back then. If you guys remember the throwback to the Smash 4 when I had like the sides and the back of my hair shaved really short, but the top was super long. That was Nakamura. That was his hairstyle. So I was just aping him.
2 questions for you, very relevant to this. First of all, do you feel like your passion for wrestling inspires your decision to play grapplers in fighting games?
Dude, okay, so I love cats. I love wrestling, but I don't play Incineroar. It does not make sense. I can't figure it out, man. I look at him and I'm just like, why am I not playing this character?
He's everything, except he's not very fast.
Yeah, true.
And the second question is, if you're still a big fan of this guy, do you feel like you emulate I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his name correctly first try.
Shinsuke
and I don't
Nakamura.
Want to try. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yep, close enough.
Yep. Do you feel like you emulate his style or try and take pieces of his style into your play style? Is that something that like has inspired you for when you've played Smash?
Dude, as ridiculous as it sounds, there's a few like wrestling fans in Queensland Smash, like Apollo CJ, Millis, Himbo, a few of these guys I talk to about wrestling. There's like the thing about wrestling, there's probably so many people that are just like, wrestling, what the hell? What's the appeal in it? There's something about these characters that are so just larger than life. They're just so ridiculous and over the top, but there's so many like just interesting like facets of their personality and their charisma that you just like connect with. And I find like there was this one wrestler, he passed away recently. His name was Brody Lee. And he was just this like almost 7 foot tall, like absolute bruiser. Like he would just beat the shit out of you. He would just roll people. And I loved him. And when I'd be playing as Bowser, I'd be like, dude, I'm going to channel the power of Brody Lee. And I would just take this roughness that he has, this absolute just like power that this wrestling character has. I'm like, yeah, I want to incorporate that into my play style. What's that spacing? Hell no, I'm Bowser. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to roll everyone.
Damn, I never thought about it like that. For me, I like to take inspiration for different places, but I actually had no idea that you were such a big wrestling fan, and that like, for me, I've said this before, but I feel like people take different aspects, like I don't even know what the word is, but different perspectives of inspiration from different wells. You know, do you feel what I'm saying? Like I've never even considered this perspective of like so much personality and energy behind your inspiration. So I feel like that's really sick.
Well, think of it this way. Like, have you ever sat down and played a set, but you've got this like song in your head, like a song that you're just so into at the moment, it's just like for whatever reason you're really, really connecting with it, whether it's like a really good riff or certain lyrics, but there's just like a certain emotion behind that song that's just like resonated with you, and you can just like you in this
Play
bizarre,
to the beat
like,
of that song.
in this bizarre metaphysical way, you can like use that to push you. You take that emotion that you're feeling so strongly, and then you can just like play it in the game. It's this really like this is some really like weird.
It's meta, yeah.
Yeah, it's this really wishy-washy type of concept. It's so like intangible and hard to like put into words. But yeah, like sometimes you can just take emotions that you're feeling. It can just from whatever media it can be. It can be music, it can be wrestling, it can be a show, it can be a movie. It could just be like you just had a really shit day, and you're just fed up, and you just want to roll some boys. So you just go into Smash, you just go in and roll some boys.
I've never been able to take something from what I've witnessed or what is like nice for me. I've always just like had an emotion, and that's how I'm playing for that day. I don't know if anyone else is the same. Let me know where you get your inspiration from in the comments below.
Yes.
But we'll go on to the next image. But that's actually really cool. I didn't know any of that about you, and I feel like now I'm more informed, and now I kind of want to watch some more wrestling if I ever see it.
Well, we're gonna get super weird right here. Okay, you ready for this? So
yes,
there is like local wrestling groups in Australia. Oh, like obviously there's wrestling groups all over the world, and like to make it clear, this is the fake wrestling. This is the predetermined theatrical stuff. And I was actually training to become a wrestler at one point. I was training for a number of months where we'd learn how to do like the fake punches and like how to gimmick everything and make it like look good and safe and all of that. And I wasn't ready for like actual like performing on shows yet. But I was being used in like a commentator in like an MC type of role. So I was actually and my name on the show was James Riker. I did actually have a wrestling name. So I had a role on actual wrestling shows, and yeah, so that's where I kind of have like some form of experience for like commentary and like the top 8 hosting and sort of
showmanship.
Stuff. The showmanship, yeah. I've actually done it by like training for this fake wrestling, which like crowds of like 50 people maximum come and watch in some like dingy old shed in like somewhere in Brisbane.
Damn, that's like the perfect training for Smash.
Exactly.
We've moved on and up a little bit, but yeah, I didn't know that was something so much part of your life. So, anyways, this was your character in Smash, was it? This image.
Oh yeah,
no, not in Smash. Sorry, in wrestling.
So this image here, okay, so the one that we have popping up here, this is thankfully not anything actual wrestling related.
Okay, I thought that was right on topic.
No, this is literally dressed as Ryu. I can't remember what this was. I think it was like someone's birthday party. This was like forever ago. Like most people think I'm like in my early 20s, but bro, I'm like 31. I've been around for ages. So sometimes I see these pictures, I'm like, this was over a decade ago.
The dad of Smash, bro.
Literally. So this was like I think the theme was video games. Like you just had to come as something video game related. I was going to come as a sim and have like, you know, that funny little like triangle
diamond
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the diamond above their head, but I couldn't make it. I like failed paper mache twice trying to make it. So I went to Lifeline and I found this I found one of these like, how do you pronounce it? A gi? A gi. And I'm like, hey, this looks like Ryu. So I cut off the sleeves and then, just put it together. And I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm throwing out a Hadouken right now.
There was a couple of ones you sent me and I was like, these look like Halloween costumes. But do you just go to like a lot of theme parties?
It seems that way, doesn't it? Now, it's been a while since I've been to some. But yeah, no, I've got a few fun photos of just weird costumes which I've dressed up in. I would love it if in Smash, especially majors, people like really tapped into that theatrical thing and like dressed up in these like over the top like. So you know how like we have the top 8 entrances and stuff at majors. I love that Bengal did that JoJo style entrance. I love that sort of stuff. Just this over the top character with his like shirt all ripped up and doing the point. It was so cool.
You know what I was thinking when you were mentioning this? I was like, man, we should have like a tournament where you have to come as like cosplayed or like as a character or something. But then I was like,
that'd be so sick.
But forcing some people to do that would be unfair. So I was like, you know what? $1 off entry if you come in as a cosplayed character.
How about I come in as Mr. Game & Watch and do blackface?
No, I don't think you could do that.
Maybe not that one. Okay, maybe I won't do that one.
You can come as Mr. Game & Watch and just have a frying pan. I think that would be fair enough.
Oh, that works. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I think there's an all white skin, so maybe you can go as that one.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, explain this image. That's the segment. So thank you for everyone who always tells me to do that every single time. I appreciate the effort to keep it going.
As a number 2 Tournameta podcast fan, I love Explain This Image. I always love to see just like these people that are just, they seem really normal and you just see ridiculous pictures of them.
Yeah, especially when you get like the post tournament pictures where like it's like super drunk mafia or something and you're like, oh man, didn't know that person even got like that.
Yep.
Anyways, the final 2 sections we have for the night, guys, are Twitch questions and Twitter questions. These ones can take a little bit, but we like to go through all of the questions that we can for you guys because we really appreciate you and we want you to be able to have your say for the people who come on. So I'm just bringing up the questions on my screen now so that we can get yours on for the moment. Just give me 2 seconds. Were there any ones that stuck out to you that you really wanted to answer straight away?
Oh, definitely Asa. I don't know how he pronounces tag actually. JY's one. Yeah, he has like a 3-prong question. I thought it was really good.
I can't see it.
It's in there somewhere. He's one of the early ones to ask, I think.
Okay, yep. As a PR level player returning from inactivity, I'd love to hear your perspective on balancing Smash / self hobbies with life, maintaining a competitive mindset and what keeps you motivated, and which aspects of Smash as a whole, including the game community related, do you enjoy the most? And if you want to follow him, it's at JY7, so JWAI7.
Yeah, JY, man. I thought those were really good questions. As someone who's obviously like a natural questioner, I thought it was awesome. Balancing Smash / self hobbies with life, like it's so hard because the amount of times I've heard people say, oh, I want to do this, but I don't have time for it. Like we all have the same amount of time in the world. We all have 24 hours. What you're really saying is I'm not prioritizing it right now. So like, you can say I don't have time for it, but what you're really saying is like you're just not making it a priority right now. But balancing Smash with hobbies and life and everything, dude, it's hard. It's so hard. Like for those that don't know, I'm married and I have 2 kids. Like it's like I'm a husband and I'm a father to 2 boys, and it's like, doing that and full-time work and like being social and like staying healthy and having Smash on top of it. It's so hard to balance it all. But you just got to kind of give and take. You don't just make it rigid. If you just feel like for 1 week, if you're like, man, I'm really feeling like the socials are a bit low, I got to go see my mates. You just go and see your mates and try to fill it up.
Yeah, it's very relatable.
But just remember, Smash isn't everything. Like it can be everything if you want it to be, but at the end of the day, like it's just one aspect of your life.
That's what I was feeling like saying. Like if you feel that Smash, you don't have time for it, and you're not getting out of it what you want, reconsider what you want to get out of it, like if it's that aspect of community or competitive drive or et cetera, then that's what you need to get out of it, not just I really want to be the best. If you want to be the best, it takes a lot of time.
Being the best is hard.
It's not for everyone.
Like it's like I've been in the Smash scene for like 6 or 7 years, and the thing that's kept me going is that I kept it fun, and like I kept trying to find the things that I enjoy about it. And just like, focusing on those and not getting caught up with the stuff that I don't enjoy.
Yeah, you may find other things that you didn't consider fun to be fun if you're doing them. Like you should also just try different stuff. If you're only putting in so much hours into Smash, consider what value you want out of those hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, we'll go to the next one. If there's any ones that you really wanted to answer, we can go to them. But I was just going to answer Finn's soap opera fan, soup opera fan at Sad Hour 64. Or did you have one?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like Asa JY. His he had like a few different aspects to it.
Go.
Yeah. Cool. So the second one, he was just talking about maintaining competitive mindset and what keeps you motivated. Again, like I'm such an uncompetitive person, and I think that drives people crazy. That like I don't give a shit about competitiveness. Like I would venture to say that no matter what tournament we're at, I'm the least competitive one there. It's guys like me and Caboose and Ricky Clean. We're like we're a special breed where we're just there to have a good time. But yeah, man, I don't have a competitive mindset. What keeps me motivated is just like having a laugh at the game. If I'm getting thrashed and it's really funny, make sure you laugh at it. Like it's good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, I can understand where people are coming though. If you lose to someone who's not taking the game competitively, you're just like, oh fuck, man, what's the point?
Yeah.
But that is also funny in itself, and I wouldn't help but laugh.
Oh man, you gotta have fun with the game. And the last one, he said, what aspects of Smash as a whole do you enjoy the most? Yeah, a lot of it is just the community. I just love, well, not so much Twitter, but just being on like Facebook Messenger and just talking to some of the guys and just having a laugh just during the day. It just keeps the day it just keeps the workday just keep rolling. Like I was thinking about it. If I wasn't doing Smash, I would never touch Twitch. I would never touch Discord. I would never touch Twitter. And I'm like, damn, I spend so much time with just the Smash guys and aspects of Smash. It'd just be, my world would look so different. It would just feel so much more lonely without it.
Yeah, the community is like, I feel like if people were asked that question, it would be to like an entire Smash community. It would be like, oh yeah, that's the 99% answer back. Most important thing is all these other people who are enjoying it with me and how I'm relating to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'll go into Sad Hour's question now. We got through Asa's. I'm so sorry for cutting that question off, bro. My bad. But yeah, Sad Hour 64.
Declan's drunk as hell. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thanks. I didn't have a bad day or anything today.
He's 5 siders deep, man. He's all good.
Anyways, thoughts on Miso theory. The theory that one performs better at Smash events if their significant other is present. Follow-up question. Would you be willing to test the Kiddo theory? The theory that one performs better at Smash events if their offspring are present.
I love this question.
This is amazing.
It's so good. And the Miso theory, I think the Miso theory, like, I looked at the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. They spell disaster for anyone that doesn't believe in the Miso theory. The Miso theory is so real. The amount of times that, like, their significant other has just randomly come to an event, and then that person just, like, goes on a tear in bracket, man. It's real. But it's really awkward because I've seen, like, Epic Tiffy versus Caboose, and I've seen like Shiva versus Millis happen a few times, and I'm like, how does this work with the Miso theory if they're versing each other? It's not fair.
Yeah.
But my wife would never come to Smash. She hates Smash. She's hated it from the very start. She thinks it's garbage. She's like, why can't you have like a cool hobby?
Yeah, it's very fucking relatable.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I just have no follow-up.
I should have a cool hobby. Wait.
I should have a cool hobby one day, maybe. And the kiddo theory. I don't know. Yeah. It'd be interesting having my kids at Smash. They've come to one event, but I was already eliminated at that point, so I didn't even get to do it.
Do you think it would, like, can you feel the inspiration if you imagined it? Like, would you be like, yeah, nah, this would motivate me?
No, honestly, I reckon it'd be the opposite. I'd be like so stressed, being like, "Are they okay? Have they just wandered off? What's going on?
Have they just walked away? Yeah.
They've just left. They've just walked into the car park, and they're just like, "Daddy's boring. I'm going to go do something else."
You like looking behind and then like just making sure that they're still there.
Yeah, I'm like every stock. I'm just like, hang on, have they still? Okay, yeah, kids are still there. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll have to test it though. You got to get your kids in at some point.
Yeah, I'll have to. My oldest, he's 7 years old, and he was kind of into Smash, not a whole lot, but then they added Minecraft Steve, and now he's pretty into it.
Yeah, fair calls. Minecraft Steve is the uniter of all the young'uns into Smash.
Exactly. They bring them all in.
What wrestler or wrestling bit would you imitate for your inevitable top 8 major entrance from Millis at Millis Dio?
Yeah, and Apollo CJ asked a very similar question. These guys know I'm a big wrestle nerd. I actually tried to talk Ben Gold into doing a particular entrance, but this is when he went with the JoJo one, and the JoJo one was great. But there's this group called the Dark Order, which are like a cult type of thing, and they've got all these like followers, which are like wearing masks, but they do this really cool thing how they can take all of their followers and they all like form their body in a way that it makes like a throne. And I was like, it would be so sick if like you could get your crew to form a throne using their bodies, and you like sit on your crew and looking like this absolute badass during your top 8 entrance. So that's got to be mine.
That would be sick. I'd love to see Ben Gold on a throne as well of human beings. That's just like describing that sentence alone is tantalizing.
It is perfect. Although big shout out. There's quite a few like Smash guys that are into wrestling, like Duwon, the Gwyff, he's used a Kurt Angle entrance quite a few times with the music and everything. And recently at Metashift, we had DD take an entire promo that was from wrestling, and he just like tweaked it to make it like Smash related. This is the one where he like, if those haven't seen it, he like grabbed a microphone and sat down on the ground and just ripped into everyone, and we like cut him off. It was almost beat for beat, like one of the most iconic wrestling promos, but he like changed it to Smash. It was done so damn well.
Jet's linking the video in the chat. Everyone go watch that.
It's so good.
Yeah, that is a banger. That revolutionized the whole top 8 game.
Anyways, the amount of people that asked afterwards, they're like, "Was that real? Did you really cut him off?"
I thought it was real. I was on comms,
and I was, yeah, that's right, you were, weren't you? And I was like, perfect, because that's where he gets cut off. That's where the wrestler gets cut off in the promo. So we just timed it perfectly. We fooled you all. Wrestling is fake.
I got so bamboozled. I was sitting there for like 30 seconds like, Jesus Christ, how do I process this? Like, do I play it off like it's a joke? Like, what am I doing?
When Didi was telling me his idea, I was getting so excited. I'm like, yeah, you can do this. And he's like, I'm already going to do it. I'm like, yeah, you're the best.
Fuck, we need Metashift 3.
Everyone's got to get Jet, where are you?
We need everyone to get the vaccines, bro. I'm getting all 5.
No, venue capacity 48. It's going to be the best major ever.
48 invitational major.
Yep.
Sounds good.
That actually does sound pretty cool.
That does. All top players from Australia?
Yeah, hang on.
James at J goes boing boing. Hard enough to balance adult life of full-time work, work, errands, friends, partners, family, then hobbies. Curious how you juggle it all, how you keep up with events, and split the time and energy among life.
Yeah, it's like what we were talking about before. Like, everyone's got the same amount of time, and you just gotta put it where you need it and where you want it. And like, the amount of times where I'm just like, man, I just don't feel like Smash today. I just got to spend some time with my wife, or just spend some me time. Like, you just got to listen to your body, listen to your brain, and it's hard, but you find a balance. And that balance is always changing.
Someone link the Arthur song. Listen to your heart. Listen to the song. No. I don't know. So, have you ever heard the Arthur theme song?
Oh yeah. That's right.
Yeah. That's a banger.
That's a good one.
That's all I heard in my head when you said you got to listen to your body. I was like, yeah.
See, Arthur knew. Arthur always knows.
Yeah.
Well, what is he? Is he an aardvark?
That's a messed up just sentence to say. Arthur always knows.
Yeah, dude. What is he meant? What animal is he meant to be? Is he meant to be an aardvark?
I think he's meant to be like a.
Looks like a potato.
No, he's like a wombat of some sort, I thought.
Oh, okay.
But that was just because I was a kid and I was Australian. I was like, oh yeah, he's a wombat.
He's a wombat. He's definitely not a. I doubt he's a wombat.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. How does it feel having someone else ask the questions for once? 411 Mittens at Mittens Smash.
Bro, I thought I was so clever when I did that.
Yeah,
I'm such a funny boy.
That was double layered, honestly, because I was like, wait a second, you're still asking the question.
It's so good. Dude, I had when I retweeted the announcement about me being on, and I was like, oh, Jet said I'm allowed to drink, so it would be my one and only appearance. I had Director Cougar, who's Big Win Beer, who does like comedy and stuff. I had him like it, which means I'm officially funny.
That's your stamp of approval.
Like forever, I can be like, yep, a comedian, a legitimate comedian liked something that I said. So yeah, I'm good.
Nice.
Yep.
So how does it feel?
Oh, I have to actually answer it? Yeah.
Well, you don't have to. We can move on if you'd like.
We'll just move on. It was just it was just a bit, guys.
How does one get better at commentary? Wildermold at hashtag BIM at Wildermold.
Man, I saw that question and like, I don't know. I thought about it for a long time, and I feel like that there is no like clear answer. Like for me, I feel like everyone likes different aspects of commentary. Like some people like it when people just are entertaining but don't talk about the game, and some people like it when they just talk about the game like really thoroughly. And it's for me, I feel like this maybe not be the best advice, but find what aspects you like about commentary and then do that. And just really like nail it. So for me, I always feel like there should be like with the two commentators, one should be like a color commentator, because this is how they do it in wrestling. Everything is wrestling, if you haven't noticed the theme yet. One is like a color commentator where they're just yelling and making noises and putting energy into it. And the other person is like the play-by-play where they talk about what's happening in the game. And if you can get that balance just right. Like for me, when I do commentary, I see who I'm with and I try to figure out if they're a play-by-play or if they're a color commentator, and I try to do the opposite. So, yeah, a lot of the time I get play-by-play guys, so I'm just out there hooping and hollering and making noises.
I would call that you being a supportive commentator.
Yeah,
so you're always
supportive.
like trying to adapt to like what the other person is doing and and add to it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was actually interesting at MetaShift. I was down for a few commentary blocks, which I really, really loved. I tried to take those ones like really seriously and put in some good commentary. But I was with Psycho. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but I had like no experience with him. So I was like, man, I don't know what his style is. So I was trying to get a feel for him. Like as we're commentating a game, I'm trying to get a feel for the commentator so I can see what he's about. So I can kind of like do the opposite to kind of like, make him stand out a bit more and have a bit of a different dynamic.
Yeah, I've always felt like, I don't know, I've always just done what comes naturally to me on commentary. So having supportive commentators out there is a fucking godsend, because I feel like you actually think more consciously about like what to do and how to make a situation work. So
Yeah, definitely. Like I find we have a lot of like quite good commentators in Queensland now. It's awesome. It's awesome that it's like developing as much as it has. But if you put like Python, I think is a really good color commentator. Like he gets really hyped for things. And if you get me in like a silly mood, if you put Python and I together, like the entire commentary is just like animal noises. It's like everything is inaudible. You can't even tell what's happening.
But that's sick. It's all about like getting that partner that you click really well with, and then have a certain blend of energy. That's probably the most important part. Yeah,
definitely. And I think that like I know that you, Declan, that you're into esports like outside of Smash. So you like the League of Legends commentators and everything. So you see like a different perspective.
I take note. I take so much note.
Yeah, I love it. I wish that more people took commentary like as seriously as you did, because I think it's a very like we have a good scene in Queensland right now, but I think it's such like a lost art. Like if people like really, really narrowed in on it, like man, you could be flown out to like interstate tournament majors to do commentary. Like how amazing would that be?
I think it's part of the Australian style almost, the good commentary.
I think so. Like I think that like Australia wide we have quite a lot of good ones, but some like I don't watch a whole bunch of NRL, but I love the energy that those guys have with their commentary. Like because I feel like they feed into the show. Like NRL is a very like momentum based thing. If someone is like if there's a player that has like a lot of momentum, they're just sprinting down the field, the commentator just builds and builds, and they're just like, yeah, pass to Langer, pass up that, he's gone broken through, he's running, and I just feel like it adds so much to the product. And
Yes.
although it's like kind of unconventional, that's something that I try to do as well. I try to like almost tap into that NRL style commentary.
Yeah, they did a study about like what they started showing like games, like sports games, and they did no commentary for a couple of them, and then they like studied what people's responses were, and they were like, yeah, the first thing they noticed is that people had less of an idea of who was winning. So people used to make up their own minds a lot more about who was winning. Like if the commentator was there, they'd be like, oh yeah, 70% said this team was winning most of the game. And then if they had like nobody there, it was close to like 50-50, or whoever was obviously and clearly winning, everyone would say that. Well, commentators might have made it out that the losing team had more of a chance. Yeah. So I thought that was really interesting. But the other thing was that people in general didn't like it as much. They were like, yeah, no, it wasn't as entertaining or as gripping. And I was like, oh, okay, get it. It clicked for me. It was just like commentary is all about like storylines.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's something I try and keep in mind. But as well as when that climax is hit, it's like a high performance moment where you're like, the eyes are on you to try and make this particular moment legendary and marvelous. But it's also the climax of a said story. And if you don't put in the groundwork to like describe who these players are, what their play styles are, what the story of the game is, then the climax is just going to fall flat anyways. Because have you ever definitely like watched a commentary of some set and you're like, man, this guy's just trying too hard to be hype?
Yeah, because they're just 100. They're at like 100 as soon as the set starts, and it just doesn't work because you can't build from that.
Shit sometimes just tastes so corny when you're like, oh, they're just trying to make the clip, you know, for the next tournament advertisement they're going to put out on Twitter. That doesn't feel real. Yeah,
I think like just get excited about the game. Like it's really funny because I love Smash, and I get like when I get into full like just making noises mode, I go back and I listen to it and I'm like, oh, it sounds so inauthentic. It sounds like I'm putting it on, but like I'm legitimately feeling it so much sometimes.
I think you can always tell when someone's feeling it legitimately.
I hope so.
That's why I think Australia has some talent, because they all feel for the game. It's not like, oh, dude, your career is at stake as a commentator. You have to make this hype. It's always just like, nah, this guy's on commentary because we like him on commentary. And this guy goes on commentary because he's passionate about the game. Yeah. So that's part of why I think that we have so many good commentators, is that the passion is real.
The passion is real, absolutely. And to go back to what you were saying earlier about like laying out the storylines, like actually to the original question, how do you become a better commentator? Remember that you have a very particular perspective. You've got a very unique perspective. Don't try to go out there and tell you what frame everything is and what percent everything does. Like what you can do is you can go out there and say, this is who this player is. This is their story. Like if you're from the Gold Coast and you see a Gold Coast player and they're on stream, you can tell their story. You're like, this is Caden. He's an up-and-coming Incineroar player. He's making waves. He's really good with his bait and punish, blah, blah, blah. Like you can say like what makes this person unique. Don't get so caught up in the game. Like dude, I don't want to watch the game and then someone tells me, oh, that's like frame 6 out of Shield. I'm like, yeah, I know that, or I just don't care. Like tell me about these unique players and their storylines and what makes them so special.
You can also talk about like if you're stuck with like top players and you're like, oh, well, these guys play all the time, people already know everything about them. You can sort of talk about like what is at stake for them and what the challenges are and like, you know, what it means for them to win or lose this. Like it always means something. And like, especially if you talk about their goals, and what their goals clearly are is to just like be better and win. And then you can start crafting together a story in your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Like something I love to do at events, and this really helps for commentary, I just go out there and just talk to people. Like recently I was talking to a player called Scott Max, who's a Captain Falcon player. And he started to like really improve and make waves. And I remember just at one event, I just said to him, I'm like, bro, you're doing awesome. Like, what's changed? And he could specifically point out what he's improved. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool that he can pinpoint what it is. So next time on commentary, I kept that in mind. I was like, oh yeah, dude, I was talking to Scott Max and he's tried to improve like this aspect of his game and he's been getting good results from it. It's just stuff like that. Like you just pick up information.
Press 1 in the chat right now if you don't want to know what those improvements are. Just be like, oh no, I don't really care about what that story is because I'm interested. But that's because that's the story, right? You want to know now. You're adding to it.
Absolutely. Like, yeah, with Scott Max, because he's awesome because he goes 100% like so often. But the change he made was he's like, I'm not gonna go 100% all the time. I'm gonna do this crazy Falcon kicks when it doesn't make sense, but I'm not gonna do it all the time. I'm gonna like hold back and kind of give and take. And because of that, he's found us like the perfect balance, and he's gotten really good results because of it. It's just stuff like that, and you just pick up with it. We're just like having a conversation with someone. And like I could go on commentary and I could tell you what frame Falcon kick is. Who cares about that? I could tell you Scott Max is doing this. This is his story. This is why he's improving. And also he's improving and it's awesome. And everyone's scared of him now. Like that's where the real money is.
So to recap, be excited about the game and don't be afraid to show your passion. Craft storylines while you're on commentary and use your unique perspective while you're on commentary to craft those storylines and to add to your energy.
Bingo. That's exactly it. Couldn't have put it any better than that, Declan. Thank you.
You're welcome. I just thought that a good recap would help us move on to the next question, which is from Swait. Buster move Swait. Swait Plonsters Enjoyer. What the hell is a plonster? Anyways, it's at...
What?
Yeah, that's his tag. Anyways, it's at Swait Opal. You're clearly an advocate for good inclusion of for all players within the Smash community. How would you feel about the idea of having a tournament, probably in FNS, where only losers bracket games are played on stream, with the players' consent, of course?
Didn't you hear me before? It's only the top players that have the good storylines.
Yeah, eat shit.
Eat shit. Nah. No, I thought that was a really good idea. Like, yeah, I'm a big advocate for player inclusion. Like, I tell you what, like, I watch a lot of VODs, but the most often match that I'll watch is winners round 1. It doesn't matter what region you're in. Give me 2 people I've never heard of before, and I'm gonna watch it because I'm all in, man. I wanna see the good stuff that everyone's cooking up. Yeah, man, I love stuff like I don't like, you know, Sad Hour and Shadru match number 37 is good and all, but like I don't know, I've seen it before, but all the lower stuff is fresh. I like Swait's idea. I think it needs a bit of tweaking. I don't quite know what. I don't have the answer to it, but the idea of having like an event where losers brackets are on stream, or if we put like redemption bracket on stream, or I don't know. I would love something to highlight. Like I like the idea of the Arcadian, but I feel like the Arcadian is so infrequent that it becomes this huge event. I would love just like, you know, like a development group. I've seen this idea where you get like a few top players, they get assigned like a lower level player, and then they have like a few weeks to like train them up and keep building them up, and then all the lower level players, they verse each other in tournament with like the top level players coaching them, like next to them, coaching them in between sets and stuff. I think stuff like that is awesome. That's such a good idea.
Yeah, that's from not South Australia. I forget what region they originally did that in, but they had like these prizes that weren't just like money as well for it. They had like it was like a sword and shield or something, or like some cool socks. So sick. Yeah, it was just like unique things that you would pass on to the next winning team as like a testament that, you know, you're the most improved. And the cool thing was like top players could compete in the crew battle, but they were like the team captain or whatever. But I like the idea better that they're the coach and they actually don't get to play.
Yeah, because I think there's still a lot of like, you know, a lot of bragging rights and a lot of clout attached to it, and like even the stuff outside of the game on Twitter, you can be like hyping it up, saying like, yeah, like I'm going to be coaching like Onigiri, and like this is why you should be scared of him and stuff like that. I just think it'd be so sick. I think it'd be really hype. I think a lot of people would really enjoy watching that sort of event if it's built right.
The problem is building it right. When I've recommended this idea in the past, the problems that have come up have been, okay, well, what if people get left out? Well, okay, what's in it for the top level players? Well, okay, but do we have time to organize all of this, and is it really going to be worth it? So there's problems with it, and it definitely has to be done correctly, which is the important part. But it has a lot of potential.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of potential for like non-traditional Smash events, like instead of the straightforward double elimination bracket sort of stuff. Like, I don't know. I think, again, this is wrestling, but I think about like what if there was a Smash event and it wasn't like a tournament, but it was like just a number of singles matches. But if you built those matches just right, like they could be people that genuinely don't like each other in real life versing each other, or people that have like a really competitive rivalry, but like a friendly one, or just like, or if someone's been like a bracket demon, you could like hype it up as like, is this the time when they overcome their bracket demon? I don't know. I think that there could be a bit of fun in there. I think that there's definitely a lot of room for like, some of that more non-traditional stuff, whether it be like a coaching thing or like to highlight the lower level, or like Arcadian is like definitely in the right direction. And even with Arcadian, how with doubles, we had it like one PR. You can only have one PR per doubles team. So it's and just a way to make it like more fair. I think that sort of stuff is fantastic. I'd love to see more of that in Smash.
There's definitely a shit ton of potential.
Oh yeah. I think Swait's definitely on the right idea. I love that sort of stuff. I'd be a big advocate for it. If someone, like, that's kind of been the theme of this, if you want to do it, kick it off. But if someone's game to kick it off, man, I'm all in.
Yeah, you got my support.
Yeah, I got my support as well. I'll be retweeting that bad boy.
And my axe.
Yes, you're going to have my axe.
I'd like to hear about your influences for commentary and how you incorporate towards Smash. Is it true that you've been an announcer for amateur wrestling?
BBC, this is what we talked about before.
Gravy Dice, yeah.
Talking about the amateur wrestling. We say amateur, it's professional wrestling. Thank you very much. That's what it's called, but it's also fake.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think Gravy Dice kind of set me up for that one because he knows that I kind of channel the NRL sort of stuff, and he's an NRL fan. So, yeah, right. Definitely. I always enjoy like tapping into like those kind of non-traditional esports commentator areas, and then try to channel it.
And for you being an announcer for amateur wrestling, yes, I was a commentator and like announcer, but it was really awkward because they wouldn't give me their like weights and heights and stuff, so I kind of had to make it up half the time. Oh,
yeah, a bit awkward.
Did you ever get something super wrong?
I just kind of like rolled with it. Like even if it was wrong, it's just like, he's just an announcer. He doesn't matter.
Oh, Jesus.
I was at the bottom of the food chain. Trust me.
Okay. Lush. Bam Lush. At Lush_SP. Would you look like Keanu Reeves with his hairstyle? What?
I think he means Keanu. I say yes, man. Like, the amount of times that people have come up to me and been like, oh, you look like my friend or whatever. And then they show me a picture of them and it looks nothing like me. I don't know. I've got one of those faces.
Just by that logic alone. Yeah.
I don't know. I once had this, I kid you not, one time I was at the shops and this dude was like, hey dude, how you doing? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I was just trying to be friendly with him. And then he's like, how's your day been? I'm like, yeah, it's good, man. How's your day been going? Yeah. So we just had this little back and forward. We're about a minute in. And then he's like, look, dude, I got to be honest with you. I thought you were my mate, like Chris or whatever his name was.
but you're just so nice.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. It's all good. It happens all the time. He got a minute into a conversation before realizing I'm not the person he thought I was. It's crazy.
Do you think there's a bunch of like Smash people who go around accidentally running into other people and go, oh, Mittens, how you doing?
Dude, I think I look vaguely like Keanu Reeves, like vaguely, but like I'm yet to find anyone that actually looks like me. So I don't know what's going on, man. Everyone's got prognosia. Everyone's busted.
There's something there.
Something's there.
All right.
Actually, my favorite thing is I always say to people, I'm just like, oh, what like ethnicity do you think I am? Like what nationality background do you think I have? I've gotten everything, man. Everything.
Really?
Yeah, they're like all these different types of Asian, Italian. But no, I'm just boring white bread Australian. I've got nothing in me.
I was going to say, I thought you might have had a smidgen of Hispanic.
Oh, there we go. That's a bit different.
Yeah.
Well,
it's mostly the facial hair, right?
I don't know. Yeah. If I grow my beard long, it looks like, you know how like Japanese dudes grow their beard?
Yes.
It looks freaking
yes.
awful.
You fade out of Hispanic into Asian beard.
I look like Asian beard, as in stop growing it. It shouldn't be that long. It looks awful. That's me.
Yeah. Favorite 3 tournaments and why? Bam Python, Amiibo Commission, and it's... Oh, give me the tweet, damn it. It's at Bam Python. There you go.
Yeah, that was a good question. My number one, absolute number one, is the Queensland Arcadian. I loved that one, the one that we had last year, where Ryan from New South Wales won. It just had the right feel, man. Like the thing that made it so special is that grand finals we had Joz versus Ryan, and then Ryan won. It all finished, and immediately after that, we realized that amateur bracket grand finals was still going. So like a good 40 people went to the other side of the room and watched, I think it was like FC versus Curtin. And we're just cheering them on. Like we just had the main bracket grand finals finish of this like 100+ person tournament, but we wanted more Smash. I think that just sums it up perfectly, man. I thought Arcadian was so special. Like there was just such a good vibe about it. Just enough alcohol as well. It was right.
That does sound magic.
It was pretty sick. And then, yeah, I don't know. That's my clear number one. I actually have never done any like majors outside of state, so I can't like point to any of those. But yes, the other majors that we've had in Queensland, like Metashift,
Pissmas too.
I didn't go to either of the Pissmasses because I was working, but I've heard that both of them were like phenomenal. Yeah. So yeah, Pissmas 3. I mean, Piss. Oh no, I was going to say Piss Easter, but Piss Easter's come and gone. Pissoween. There we go. That's a Halloween.
Pissoween.
Pissoween. Give me Pissoween. I'm in. I'm quitting my job and just going to it.
How do you radiate such a chill vibe and also boned or boneless chicken? From Dionysus at Dionysus 108.
Oh, that's a good pronunciation. I usually butcher his tag. Yeah, like, man, as I said at the top of the podcast, I used to have like mad anxiety. And honestly, I think just being free from that anxiety has just made me so happy in life. Like like my anxiety was so bad that I like just being free of it. I'm just like, hell yeah, bro, I can enjoy life again. And I'm just riding that wave because I was getting crushed by that anxiety for years and years. So it's good to be out of it. And
what do you think was a big change to help you get out of your anxiety?
Therapy, 100%, man. Like it's because like I wanted to be out of it, and yeah, I went to the doctors. So for those that don't know how the process goes, you go to a GP, you say, dude, I'm not doing too good. I want to get on a mental health plan, and then you'll be able to get either free or like much cheaper sessions with a psychologist. And yeah, I just found like I had like I think 8 sessions with a psychologist. I didn't pay for a single thing. 8 sessions with a psychologist, and they just gave me the tools and like, yeah, just helped me understand anxiety in a different way. And it just helped me so much. And like, obviously it's not, psychologists aren't for everyone. It's hard to get just the right one. Because if you get stuck with the wrong psychologist that you're not vibing with, like, yeah, you won't be making much progress at all. But yeah, man, it was a big thing for me. So yeah, dude, just keep fighting it. Like anxiety isn't a thing that just gets cured overnight. It took me years and years, but like I'm at a point like I was on a roller coaster, and then the roller coaster broke down, and I was like, yeah, this is sweet. And at that point I was like, oh damn, I'm pretty healthy right now. If this was like a few years ago, I'd be dead. I would have like shit my pants and fainted. It would have been great. So yeah, but yeah, nah, man, just keep fighting it. It's a slow process, but anyone listening to this has anxiety, just keep fighting the fight, and you'll get there eventually, man. It's worth it.
Yeah, good words. I thought that was a good question to ask because I know there's a lot of people out there, and one of the things about fighting it is that like the Smash scene puts people in anxious positions, whether it be on commentary, whether it be in tournament. And sometimes, whether it's like seeing their potential not coming to brim because of their visible anxiety, or seeing them actually overcome that after like years and then having like huge triumphs is super duper important, and why one of like the big reasons that I'm a proponent of the Smash scene, like the development and the opportunity it provides people to sort of like conquer their demons.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's like it will. You don't overcome anxiety. You don't overcome mental health issues by being safe and not being challenged. Like Smash can give you just the right amount of challenge that you can look at it and be like, nah, today I'm winning. I'm not letting anxiety win today. I'm taking control of this. Like I think Smash is very, very powerful for that sort of thing.
What pro wrestling inspired entrances do you want to see or perform yourself at a Smash Major Top 8 from Apollo CJ?
Yeah, Apollo
I
CJ.
thought that was a perfect transition.
He knows, man. Apollo and I every week we talk about wrestling because we both watch the same like weekly wrestling thing. So Apollo's a sweetheart. He's an awesome dude. Yeah, dude. As I said before, the human throne, you can't beat it.
Yeah, all right. I can't wait till everyone does it, and then we have this competition of like who can get the biggest throne of humans. All right. Last one for the Twitter questions. If you didn't get your Twitter questions in, unfortunately, you just have to wait to the next guest. It may be Mittens again, so if you've got more questions, you can wait till then. But you can also just ask him in real life or on Twitter or in any other capacity that you see fit. So
I thought I made it pretty clear that I won't be on the Tournameta podcast again after Jet said I'm allowed to drink.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Regarding mentality, what are some tips on coming into events as fresh and chill as yourself?
Who asked that one? Oh, yeah, there we go. That was
Larry at SSBU, right. At Larry SSBU. It
was actually really funny with Larry. We played last Friday, just in a rotation. He like Sifo and I were playing, and he's like, "Hey, do you mind if I join?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And then we're playing, and then he asks us, and he's just like, "How often do you guys practice?" And I just laugh. I'm just like, "Bro, I never practice." I'm like, "I never play this game. I just come to tournaments." But then I said to him, I was like, "Oh no, I've been playing for like a million years, so it's all good." What's some advice? Like a big thing is sleep. Just sleep, man. Make sure you get the right amount of sleep. Make sure you eat well. Like, look at your state. What state is your mind and your body in going into events? Like, don't do what I do. Don't eat KFC. Holy shit, that was such a bad. I literally thought I was about to shit my pants, man. Just sleep well. Like, drink water. Just do all these external things that you can to set yourself up for success.
Yeah, all right. Sleep, I've realized, has been super important. Like today, I did not get great sleep yesterday because I was playing Brawlhalla with Ira, my brother, and then we had a big chat. And like my whole day was just full of small little mistakes that just destroyed everything about it, you know? So you can get rid of that sort of stuff, that like half thinking, but also it changes the way you think and your perspective on things, you know? You're going to be a lot more positive and ambitious and willing to go out and put yourself in an uncomfortable zone if you've been well rested, and that's legitimate. So
yeah, absolutely. I think of it this way: if you're tired and you win or you lose, like, you know, it really mutes your experience. But if you're like nice and rested and you win or you lose, you're like, hell yeah, I won. Or you're just like, whatever, I lost. It's not a big deal. Like, yeah, just think of it that way. Like, if you're tired, it just makes your life worse. Just have a sleep, man.
Yeah, have a nap, man.
Have a nap. Put the phone down. Put the computer away and just have a sleep.
But don't turn off that podcast because we're about to do...
Don't do that, man. Stay
Twitch
awake,
questions.
boys and girls. We're still going. We're going to Twitch questions, aren't we?
Yes. So if
Hell yeah.
anyone is in the chat right now, which there's a couple of you, I'm sure, you can ask your questions towards Mittens, the singular Mitten, towards Mittens, and ask us about anything you want, and we'll get Mittens to answer your questions for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben Gold 1 Bam on 5 hours. Okay, there is a counter effect to sleep called Dragon Mode, which is where you get such little sleep that your game plan in Smash gets dumbed down to a point where you're not overthinking things and you start to become really good. And if you can just rely on how good your execution is and follow through on your simple game plan, you lose nerves in big moments and you can do better. But it is unreliable because lots of people will get no sleep and then just do horrible, and you don't count all of the people who did that.
And also, Ben Gold was doing an assignment during the entire time, so that man is a mystery. Don't look at him as the rule. He is the exception.
He is the hurricane.
Yeah, he is a hurricane.
Would Mittens consider himself a gorilla or a fisher?
Or a fisher? Okay. Not heaps. I do enjoy like having meat, but like I'm not really a big hunter or anything like that.
I didn't know that was a real question.
I don't know. Is that a question?
Like, do people ask that to like in general? Is that like a dating question?
Maybe. His name is Ham on the Bone, so like that's something.
Yeah, maybe he's like a grilling enthusiast and doesn't want to find anyone else.
No hate on you, Ham. You do you, man.
I just want to know if he grilled or fished. Yeah, fair enough.
Well, bro, I'm just gonna say yeah. What in doubt? The answer is yeah, man.
Ricky Clean, favorite fighting game other than Smash?
So I'm actually absolute garbage at actual fighting games. I've like played so few of them, but my mates play Tekken and they're trying to teach me. But what they do is they're bastards. What they do is they'll teach me, just enough, but then they'll do something and not teach me how to counter it because they keep doing low attacks. I'm like, oh, how do I counter low attacks? So like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, bro, there is a way you can counter them, but they won't tell me.
Jesus, they just fucking leave you out so they could be.
But I think if I would like to play Tekken, if another FGC game, I actually really would like to play real fighting games outside of Smash because I think that I've got enough like FGC knowledge that I could just like parlay it into an actual game.
Aren't the best ones right now like Dragon Ball Fighter and
Guilty Gear? People into Guilty Gear. Yeah. I should try those.
Mittens, any advice on picking up new characters? Dionysus AUS.
Yeah, watch people that are really good with the character. Like kind of figure out like what the top players do. And not so much like the really like fancy shiny stuff, just like, what does the neutral look like? What does the bread and butter look like? And then just jump into training mode or verse like a level 1 CPU and just focus on the movement. Because that's the thing, like the amount of times I'm like, I'm going to play Sephiroth. And then I just throw myself into like a level 9 CPU and I don't have a handle of the movement. You just gotta get a feel for them.
I believe Extra is an old school, like one of the best players in Australia player. Used to make these videos about like how to be good and stuff. And one of the things that always stuck with me about how he recommends you get good is to just jump into the training room and move around with your character. Find out 100%. If they can do things like, how many up airs can you do in a full hop, or how many up airs can you do jumping around before you have to hit the ground, and just like move around and start to realize, when can I slip out an up air before I hit the ground? Like how late can I do it? You need to become familiar with your character is the advice. So I feel like that really rings true with picking up new characters. That should be like number one thing that you need to learn how to do. Yeah,
don't just jump straight into the Twitter combos. Like, just if you want to learn the Twitter combo, learn the Twitter combo. But if you wanna like properly get good at the character, start from the bottom and build up.
Jawza_SSB. What's your favorite letter of the alphabet?
My favorite letter is the letter J because that's without the letter J we wouldn't have the name Jawza. But also, we wouldn't have Jet. And also, I like the letter D for Declan.
Oh, thank you. I like the letter D for other things.
I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like,
Ricky Clean, favorite place to watch in QLD/Australia. That's a good one.
Think of it this way: if you didn't have the letter D, you would just be Eklund, and Eklund is in the name.
I would be Eklund. That sounds like that Pokemon, Ekleon or whatever.
Eklund. You just have to speak with only saying your name and nothing else.
I could do that.
Okay. What was that, Ricky Clean? Favorite place to watch in Queensland/Australia? I legitimately love to watch Bengal.
I was gonna call that. Okay, I was gonna say it, but I wasn't sure you were gonna say it. Yes.
Now, Bengal is my best friend in the universe, but I love his absolute goofy ass play style. His set against Chirapon from FNS like a million years ago was the best because he did a neutral get up to teabag. Like who does that? Bengal does that. No, I genuinely love to watch Bengal play because he just plays so out of the box and he just plays so unconventional, and it's just whether it's effective or not, it's so fun to watch. It's not. I don't view it as like BM. I just view it as like just insanity, and it's perfect.
It is so true though. Like watching him, you go, wait, I never even thought about that, or I don't know. He's wacky. He's got some, I don't mean to be rude, but hardcore psycho energy in his play style, you know?
Absolutely. Sorry, Chirapon, I see you saying, oh, no.
I hate that set so much.
You were the sacrificial lamb, so this beautiful thing could exist.
All right, so we'll give it a couple of minutes for some remaining questions, and then we'll pack it up. But I'll read your chat, and if anyone says anything worthy of commenting on, we'll also comment on that one.
Yeah,
Blood Wolf talking. I heard Tekken is going to be at this Cool Monthly. What Cool Monthly is that?
That would be Flip the Switch, the Ipswich event. And as someone who grew up in Ipswich, I'm so glad that there's a Ipswich monthly going on.
Smasher that surprised you the most with how much you enjoyed their company, Zondrel. Did I read that right? Smasher that surprised.
I know what he means. Yeah, like the amount of guys, like I think, like using Zondrel as an example, like he's really into metal and stuff, like into like heavy rock and metal and stuff. And it's like I'm not like an enormous fan of metal, but yeah, I know some stuff, so I find that I can talk to him about it. But I find like so many guys in the Smash scene are just. Once you just talk to them, once you get to know them, everyone's so chill. Everyone's like, we really don't have many bad apples in Queensland Smash at all. Like everyone is just so chill and so easy to talk to, and that's something which I really love about events. Like you could just go up to someone and be like, "Hey, dude, like, what do you think about like Pyra and Mithra being in the game, or who do you think is going to be like the next DLC?" And instantly you've got like something to talk about.
I feel like. It is surprising how many people there are that you go, man, we don't have that much in common, but you make really great friends because you have that uniting thing being in Smash.
Yeah, like, dude, I look at some of these guys. I would never in a million years, like, be friends with half of these dudes because they're just from such different worlds. But, man, we just have such a smorgasbord of, like, characters in like Queensland Smash and Australia Smash, and everyone just comes together. They just we all have this one unifying experience with this love for the game, and we all just come together, and it's just beautiful. You can just straight away you already have common ground with everyone.
All right, and do you know who plays Guilty Gear? Maybe Blood Wolf. Oh, Blood Wolf. What are you drinking, and what do you recommend?
Man, I'm drinking tonight because I'm a cheap boy. I'm going the Miller Chill, and we're just about to finish number 6 of the 6-pack which I got. So I timed that perfectly. And yeah, I've typically been someone who's into spirits and bourbons, but a lot of the time they're mixed with cola. And I've actually got a really low tolerance to caffeine because I never drink caffeine. So if I was drinking a 6-pack, I would be up until about 4 a.m. I kid you not. So yeah, let's go. We're doing the beers tonight, so I don't stay up all night.
Guilty Gear players include myself, Dionysus, Blurry, Nagima, Shadru, Wildermold, and a few others. See, I thought that'd be really good because I know Guilty Gear's like growing, and it's good to know who to like you can play against and whatnot. Worst experience you've had at a party from Ricky Clean?
at a party. I don't know if this is worse, but the first, for some reason, my goblin brain went to this one. I was once at a party. I had this friend called William. Don't worry, he won't be listening to this. You know, we're all having a good time, and we're all just, we're drinking and stuff. And then him and his girl comes to me, and they're just like, "Hey, you want to do a threesome?"
Whoa!
I'm like, oh, I don't really know, eh? And then he's just. And then they're just like, "Oh, well, no, we're thinking about doing it like right now. If you want to come join us in the bedroom." And I'm like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm all good.
Jesus. Yeah, right.
I don't know. I think he just wanted to crack on to me. I don't know what was going on there, man.
Yeah, but that's the worst. That's just the weirdest, in my opinion.
I don't know. That's where my brain went.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not going to judge. That's
actually it's actually funny because I can think of another threesome story.
No.
What are these parties I go to? I'm going to tell this one because so there was this one time I kind of knew the girl. Like, we weren't like super close or anything, but I kind of knew the girl. But she was dating my friend called Aiden. And then we're at a party. We were having a good time. I hadn't really like met this Aiden dude, but he was all right. And then later in the night, the two of them came to me and they're just like, "Oh, hey, we've got this agreement that like, as long as we know the other person is going to be doing it, we're okay to cheat on each other." So this girl is just like, "Oh, I spoke to Aiden and he's cool if like you and I sleep together tonight." And I'm like, "Bro, do I get a say in this?" I'm like, I was like, "Thanks, but no thanks." So I turned her down. And then I was talking to Aiden later that night and I found out he's got really sick taste in music. And then we became really good friends. So, like, it's been years later, and Aiden and I are still really good friends.
Yeah, that is a good way to meet someone, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the best way to meet someone. Is there a better way to meet someone? I don't know.
I don't think you can get there, no.
I don't think so.
That should be an icebreaker. They do it like universities and schools. It's like, okay, everyone's girlfriend asks for sex to the other person.
Hey, it's good to meet you. Do you want to sleep with my girlfriend? No? Oh, let's be mates then. Let's be really good friends.
No? Okay, well, what's your taste in music then?
Yeah. I know telling these two stories back to back kind of paints a picture, but don't worry, this is the only 2 times in my life that this has happened. This isn't a common occurrence.
Well, I'm glad that, you don't have to suffer the indignity of that too often. It's a
heavy thing.
It's a burden.
Someone has to carry the burden. Always being asked for threesomes.
All right.
Has Jet taken us off the air yet? Has Jet shut you down?
Yeah, we're already off stream. Yeah,
he's waving you down, saying, "Bring it down. Twitch is going to shut us."
PG-13 podcast. Says Blood Wolf. All right. Anyways, guys, everyone, thank Mittens for coming on. Mittens, thank everyone for being here. We're going to say goodnight for tonight. I'm going to go off and have a big old sleep because that's what we need to feel good tomorrow. If we remember the most important lesson for today, keep fighting your mental health and just look after yourself. Any parting words?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
That was me. I cut out again. Wow.
I lost you for a moment. You were wrapping up and I was saying thank you, but then you disappeared.
Okay. I wanted to say what did I cut out on?
I don't know, something. But no, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming in and viewing this. Much love to the Queensland Smash scene. I love to see it continue to grow. And yeah, man, just go out there, have fun with the game and find your own way to have fun with it. Go make things. Go make it a special experience. It doesn't just have to be sitting down and playing a video game all day. Let's go make it something special. Make it fun.
We're going to have many more of these podcasts, I'm sure, sometime soon. But thank you all for listening. Have a great night. Believe in yourself.
Awesome. See you guys. Thank you.